Friday night football, North Melbourne, a record of 6-9 against Carlton 7-8. Michael Malthouse settling down in the coach's box there. Last time these sides met, Carlton not coached by that man, incidentally. Round 16 last season, North won by 53 points. Drew Petrie booted 7 goals on what was a tough night for Juddy. In fact, North, as Bruce alluded to a few minutes ago, have won 8 of their last 10 meetings. As we await the toss of the coin, the umpires tonight, Rosebery, Stevick and Mollison. Last week, North gave up a lead of 33 points to lose by 12 against Brisbane, while Carlton took care of business against St Kilda, won by 36 last Saturday night.
Mark, it's your call. So, edges the ball, and it's a tail.
So for the present at least, Mark Murphy has forsaken that helmet, which is good news. Swallow under an injury cloud during the week as well. Seems to be fine. It was a wrist injury. Let's go down to Richo on the boundary.
Thanks, Dennis. So one of the questions down here on the boundary is, where is Lockie Henderson going to start tonight? I think that he has to start up forward. Last week, him and Rowe took 6 contested marks between them. We know they're the most precious commodity in footy. He has to start up forward. If he goes down back, that then means Rowe gets the #1 defender in Thompson. That really limits his game. All of a sudden, Carlton have no marking power down there, and that's when you really start relying on your small forwards. You've just got to trust McInnes to get the job done on either Black or the other key forward in Tarrant, and just then keep Watson up forward, keep Watson down back, Henderson and Rowe up forward. The Blues can kick a score.
Well, there's such a contrast on the forward lines. North Melbourne tall, Carlton small.
Absolutely, yes, that's going to be an interesting battle. Yeah, the Henderson thing is an interesting situation. I mean, most coaches' philosophy start with building defence first. Get your defensive mechanisms in place and build for there. But as they're lining up, I'm pretty sure Mick has taken Richo's advice, and Henderson is going to start in the Carlton forward group.
And Murphy keeping that helmet off, Lee. So no helmet.
That was obviously vision of him last week, Bruce, not tonight. Yeah.
When you look at the Carlton starting forward line, you've got Rowan Henderson there and Murphy, and then the smaller players in Garland and Betts. It looks like a good structure for a forward line, but it does make Carlton, in my view, look a bit vulnerable down back. Watson, a young defender coming through, is going to have to play a pretty significant role.
Saw Lockie Hansen there, concussed in the opening 2 minutes last week. So Friday night football about to roll. Etihad Stadium, cold night outside, and away we go. Rucks go at it. Cruiser on the way down, first tap. Zeeble over the football. Cruiser on top of him. Zeeble's got it now. Tries to feed it out, going nowhere, and the umpire calls for it.
Thanks, Bryce. He's back.
Ball up.
Just an unusual match for Andrew Walker, who actually looks like he's got the Brent Harvey match up this early point.
Lucas, the first kick out towards the outer side. Swallow back. Harvey across the body. Too much carry, then a bad bounce. Carrazzo did well. Little 1-2 with Lucas. Walker, that was slick. Carrazzo confronted by Bastanak. Great smother on the outer side. As a result, it went to Swallow. That was too cute by half. Betts a play on the football. He goes after it. Down he goes. Thomas got him. Zeeble on his knees. Attlee's in trouble. He's held, and the umpire calls for it.
Thanks, Sean.
One of the other matchups in the midfield, Curnow and McKenzie have both started on a wing, and Curnow's been one of the constant taggers, if you like, for Mick Malthouse, so not a role tonight.
Swallows through.
Andrew.
Swallow, one of about a handful. I reckon 5 players had injury problems at the end of last week, and he's come up. He hasn't missed a game for a long stretch, 105 consecutive. The North Melbourne all-time records, Keith Craig 119, so he's within half a season of that. Ferrito tonight, the one that's come out, he'd played 150, the last 152, so it's a big move to have him out. So Bastanak.
Carlton playing very man-to-man, which is just making Kangaroos no obvious free targets, makes them kick long down the line.
So it's McKenzie earlier to Bastanak. He's a good kick, McKenzie. It was a short one, but Tui. Swallow. Dare I say, it was almost the old chicken wing, but Juddy was sort of close, but Adams was nowhere to be seen. So Betts releases Murphy.
Murphy down towards half forward. Not a good kick. Rose in front. Was he held without the football? Won it anyway on his knees. Hand passes inside the 50. Here's trouble. Betts deep in the pocket. Pulls it back. Henderson in best position. Takes the mark. A couple of metres out. Clever kick.
Great open by Henderson. He knew the ball was just going to come over Grimer's head. He just leant into Grimer. I don't think he got hands. No, just leant into him to make sure Grimer couldn't come back into that space.
So the man that Richo was talking about before the game draws first blood. Carlton lead.
You know, I would have thought if he hasn't already, Scott Thompson should be taking the Henderson matchup.
Yeah.
Scott Thompson started on young row. I mean, there's no doubt while he's in there, Henderson's their most dangerous forward. So we'll just see if that matchup remains after just that first few minutes.
Even size-wise, Lee, you look at it, you think Rowe's a larger man than Henderson, and Tarrant it was for North Melbourne. He could do the job on Rowe.
Well, Richo, you were working Saturday night footy. Kicked 2 in the first quarter last week. I mean, perfect start for them.
Yeah, it's great. And when you can take contested marks like he can, 4 of them last week, you've just got to play him up forward. I'd leave him there for the rest of the year and let him develop. All of a sudden, you can build the forward line around him.
Goldstein to Bastanak, Simpson and Harvey, both eyes on the ball. Cruiser just couldn't quite get it out. Adams toe poked the ball forward. McLean against the flow, and shook hands by Cunnington to Harvey, rolls it home. Harvey, 356 games tonight, so he gets alongside Paul Roos and Bruce Dawes. They're good names, aren't they? Equal number 10 on the all-time list.
And what they've done here, and they've done it well all year, to be honest, is they've got the clearance, the centre clearance, which is so important, and their ability to surge it forward. They do play, when they play really well, North Melbourne, they tend to get the ball surging forward and play with speed. And I mean, Brent Harvey's been good.
He just hunted it, didn't he? He just kept with the ball, and eventually the ball got into the football got into his hands. Did you that matchup? I know Andrew Walker's now on Daniel Wells. I don't think he was set for the Harvey matchup. Looks like Curnow maybe has now got that assignment.
Well done by the veteran too. He produced the spill with that slap. And then the beneficiary. Rucks go at it. Goldstein on the way down. Got it to Cunnington. Swings inside the forward 50. McGuinness got a fist on it. Sends it wide. Simpson leads in the race. Right on the numbers. Peels back. Looks up towards the wing now. Cruises in front from behind Goldstein. It'll be a great duel. Cunnington. Adams. Loops it over the top. McKenzie. Very nice with the left boot. Kicks to space. Oh, that's beautiful. This kid can really kick.
If you want a textbook way to control your space as a key forward, just have a look at Drew Petrie. They held it off perfectly.
Petrie short to Black. He's been busy in recent weeks too. Man on the mark is about 25 metres out. Black, 6 goals in the past fortnight, 2 hauls of 3. Playing his first game against Carlton. He's a strong kick and normally pretty reliable. But his first kick of the night misses to the near side. Never had that one on line.
It's got the same number as the horse had, Dennis, for the Kangaroos, eh? Johnny Longmire.
Oh, that's good company.
No, he's been terrific, hasn't he, Black? So Murphy getting it. And then just took his time and then kicked the ball to advantage. That's a great mark, Lucas. Really well done. Then Curnow on the burst. So Henderson and Grimer in a 1-out. Grimer fists the ball away. Got past Armfield. Hanson, McMahon back in the team tonight after injury. Probing kick to half forward. Got over the top there. Black again, left foot round the body, searching for Watson and also Walker. Well, they got a bit nervy at the end, didn't they? But they were able to rush it through.
And just on Scott Thompson down the other end of the ground, the reason why he hasn't started on Henderson, you get the feeling he's going to be a player that will rotate. He's now on to Eddie Betts, showing his versatility. Starting on Rowe, moving to Betts.
I say in the guide that Black is 192 centimetres. He looks taller. That's only 6'2", according to my reckoning. Don't guarantee that, of course. Down goes Jamison in trouble. Scotland followed suit over the top. Zeeble, and the umpire will ball it up. It's a good tackle, and the second one even better. Flicked down by Goldstein. Curnow stood up, tries to knock it forward. Did too along the boundary. Well played. McLean kicks it to the interchange gates. It goes out of bounds. So that worked by Curnow. Gives Carlton an extra 40 metres. Boundary throw in right in front of our commentary position.
A lot of respect between these two coaches. They know each other really well, don't they, Michael Malthouse and Brad Scott? So Cruz are trying to lay it for Carazzo. That looked in the back.
He's back. Kangaroos.
He's a beast, but he was one guy I got a good look at in the runes because geez, he's a big boy.
Strong, man. He's a big midfielder, big, powerful midfielder as he sort of really grows into himself.
Is he a bit like Voss in terms of
in the size? Yeah. I don't think he's got the breakaway speed that Bossy had early in his career before he broke his leg, but still strong.
Tarrant, it was Black that got up highest. McLean cut off brilliantly by Bastanak. Back to him from Cunnington. Now, does that ball stay in? It does. It's in the forward pocket, and Cruz have belted the ball away.
Just early days looking over the field, a lot of one-on-one matchups. These two sides are actually the hardest side to get a disposal against, ranked 1 and 2 for opposition disposals, and it's looking like a very accountable game at this stage.
Rookie mistake there by Matthew Watson, just telegraphing that hand pass, and Bastanak didn't need a second invitation. As a result, Carlton defending here. Now, off the ball, it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Thomas. Well, there we go.
Time on. Let him put his boot
Thomas.
on. Yep, time on.
Having an out-of-shoe experience just for the moment.
Thank you.
Wow.
Made sure he saw it. Taktui over the shoulder.
I reckon 2 years ago, a lot of people would have said, leave it off, Lindsay, leave it off. But not now, eh?
He was like Dwight Howard at the foul line, wasn't he, a couple of years ago? What was it?
Put a movie on.
21-36.
Because you want to make sure you get this done right. You've got 40,000 people in the stadium, and it's plenty at home watching you tie your laces here, Lindsay.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone for the double knot.
He's doing it a bit quicker than the English cricketer did the other week.
Yeah, well, that is true.
Live and interactive tonight. Who's the best small forward out there? Is it Thomas, Betts or Garlett tonight? What do you reckon?
Well, Thomas this year, undoubtedly.
Yeah, umpire says allowed to put his shoe on, so he's back outside the 50. We'll watch the man on the mark closely. Call might be Tui on your boot. Here's Thomas. The way he's going, he'll kick this. Pretty soft free kick. Oh. Pangs of conscience, he hooks it. He played it up for the kick. And this ball's gone through for a minor score. So North Melbourne lead it by 3. It's 9-6.
So that's a big miss, really. Simpson. So Carlton out, and then Simpson has been so good. That's a lovely kick to Armfield. Good mark too. I mean, running backwards, and then Armfield quickly on, and wanting Henderson really wide. Grimer wraps in boundary throw in. Hey, Richo, just for you, live and interactive, are you a Thomas, Garlett, or Betts man?
Well, I think over the journey I'll stick with Eddie Betts, but like the other guys said, Thomas has clearly been the best this season.
Rogers fell over, so Goldstein, Cunnington, left foot, gets it almost to the wing. McGuinness, Walker, good one too, and then McGuinness back to the forward pocket. Henderson, such a target. Curnow throwing in the end. The high tackle first, and then the throw.
Geez, he hit the packet speed, didn't he? His hands were fantastic. We get a good look at it here.
I don't know about that.
Threw the head back, I reckon.
Well, that's even for this one. The other end with Thomas, isn't it? Both of them playing up the kick.
Yep.
So Ed Curnow with a real chance here. He's 0-2 from set shot, so this will be a bonus. 2 goals this year in 12 matches. Not a noted goal kicker. This will be terrific for the Blues, and he has drilled it home. A real 6-point bonus in the opening term.
Gee, accuracy important, isn't it? They'd had 2 shots at goal. Obviously, Henderson's was from the goal square, but that was the same kind of shot that Thomas missed, Black missed, and all of a sudden they got the lead, Carlton, when the Kangaroos have really been the dominant team in this first part of the game.
Sort of love it when a bloke gets a goal that you don't expect to, too. You feel like it's one extra, don't you?
And there's one of those small forwards we were talking about, Eddie Betts, and his matchup has been Scotty Thompson early in the game. He's just out of frame, Thompson. There he is. 20 centimetres height difference there. They have played on each other before, though, so it's not a total surprise.
Carlton by 3. Swallow started in industrious fashion. Gave it out to McKenzie. Away to Wells under pressure. Kicks inside the forward 50. Holding the man was it? Doesn't matter. Petrie. Oh, he's a handful against Carlton as Petrie.
Gee, that's a strong mark. I mean, I thought Jamison almost gave away the free kick, but Petrie was still good enough to be able to force his way to the footy. I mean, it had to be a free. I would have thought if he did mark it, but great contested mark, that one.
His career high 7 against these Blues. Round 12. 2012. There goes the kick on its way, and through it goes. Nice.
That was Cloak-like, wasn't it? I mean, just his strength. That's what we saw last week with Cloak.
That's a big. Well, he is a big man. I mean, he's become the forward who plays in the ruck. It's interesting, while this has been happening, Carlton have had Cruiser off and Rowe into the ruck. Now Cruiser's back on, but Goldstein has been on the ball the whole time. So if there is a double teaming going on, we'll just to see how Goldstein is going late in the game.
Richo, twice we've seen Drew Petrie just protect the drop zone. Just as a key forward, how much of an art's that?
Oh, it's one of your biggest tools you can have, Tommy, no doubt about it. You've got to be able to read it off the boot early, predict where the ball's landing, and then you just need to hold your direct opponent off, and you're just basically falling into the footy at the last minute. That's the idea of it.
Carazo getting it forward, McMahon, courageous. So if you think back, Carlton, both their goals have been replied within about a minute by North Melbourne. So the Blues have had the lead a couple of times, and North have quickly got it back. Free kick. It's been a slow burner, Tarrant, has he? He was a pretty high draft pick. Took a long time. I think he played 9 games in his first 4 seasons there. But his last year and a bit has been pretty promising. And here's the other guy that's sort of the 2 and 3 forwards behind Petrie in terms of height. And then you've got Thomas, of course. I mean, it's a lethal forward line when they're working. So Tarrant, where is Petrie? Oh, he was there. And Thomas reading it brilliantly. And it's all happening. All those guys we're talking about coming to the fore. So it was Tarrant, Black, Petrie, Thomas all involved in the goal.
And of course Tarrant was the one who put it out to Black in the first place, but he got in, he charged into the forward line to be in that contested marking situation. And Watson tried to chase him back, but didn't get there. So effectively Black was able to really create a really good contest for Thomas to crumb from.
Well, here's the potency of the North Melbourne forward line at its best. The 2 key targets, I guess, not ideally clashing together, but Lindsay Thomas just hitting the drop zone at speed. That's almost impossible to defend.
Great instinctive goal, that one, on the run. McLean across towards Judd. Goldstein reaches down for the footy. Attlee did well at close quarters. Cunnington goes back. Grimer gave it across towards Wells. They're still under pressure across half back. Eventually Grimer back into the fray. He's taken high by Armfield. Almost a headlock there. Attlee feeds it back to McKenzie, involved earlier. Kicks it down the line. Fisted away by McGuinness. Well done. Ghosting across in front of 2 players battling for possession. And the ball goes out of bounds. So a boundary throw in. Just the attacking side of the interchange gates for North. They're looking the better at the present time. Goldstein and Cruiser. Cruiser could have been held without it. Cunnington got boots a ball. McLean goes after it. Garlett surrounded, goes with the outside of the boot. Betts right on the wing.
It was a clever kick by Garlett, and Betts was in the right spot. So that's a waste. Be disappointed, Walker.
Well, that's the old Nick Malthouse game style, handballing round the back and using the boundary. And if you're going to use the boundary, you've got to be precise, obviously, with your disposal by foot.
So Harvey to Hansen. Concussed last week. We remember last year was a big talking point about just how fit he was, Hansen, in terms of those injuries or the head knocks, but he's back playing tonight. McMillan had a lot of consecutive matches now, this youngster. Really found his spot in this team, and then kicks to half forward. And was that hands in the back against Tarrant? No.
They look tall, those North forwards. Yeah. Sometimes big forwards can just look slow, but at the moment they are looking really tall and really that height in the air is already troubling the Carlton defence.
And nimble.
Move well, don't they?
Yep. Petrie knocks it down. Murphy, great to see him back without the helmet. Murphy's getting a free kick in that pack.
Well, one of the things that's hard to explain when you're watching it on TV is And Lee, you touched on it before the game, the atmosphere under the roof. The ball is genuinely sticky, and when you've got key forwards who are nimble, like we've discussed, you can clunk the footy.
Murphy, 26 today. So I guess, thinking about the photos that may be taken near the cake, he can't wear the helmet. Watson slips it across to Jamison. Jamison right half back. That's a telling kick. Slammed it on the boot. It was too hot for Eddie. Taken by Thompson in the grasp. Petrie. Harvey cruising past. Wow, he split the difference. Had one either side of this man. Armfield took the mark. Cunnington stands the mark over the top cruiser. Murphy looks better too. Kicks inside the forward 50. In front, McMahon in from the side. Hansen. Last time we saw him play, Bruce, he took 13 marks, remember?
I do. I like that one too. Those intercept marks are so valuable, aren't they? Story about a bloke that can take intercept marks, I reckon, just after quarter time tonight from down Geelong way. Little kick coming up to Adams. Came from Siebel.
He's going to take a lot of them if he's allowed to be loose in that back line, and that's what he is at the moment, Hansen.
And they love having him loose there, don't they, Richie? I mean, that's one of their plays, North, if they can get him on his own. So Walker building it away. Harvey up and about. Oh, Thomas, that was clever. Brilliant. Welcome back. Well, 2 matches out with suspension, 2 goals in the first quarter. Well, if I was BT, Dennis, I would have said he sold a bit of, was it candy, he says, BT?
I'm thankful you're not, Bruce.
Well, it was a very, very good goal. Gee, Lee, he's a clever player, isn't he?
He is a clever player. You mentioned before the game, did he owe the Kangaroos for getting suspended for 2 weeks? Well,
he's paid him well.
Whether we did or not, if they'd had him last week, just maybe they could have hung on against the line. So they're the kind of issues that you never get your best set on the field week in, week out, but he was a costly loss.
What's been impressive about Lindsay Thomas so far is he's had 2 weeks out of the game, but his touch has been outstanding. His timing in terms of getting to the right spots at the right time and executing it, outstanding start.
Judd slips it away. McLean alongside the centre circles. Penetrating kick deep inside the forward 50. Over the top, Hansen. Henderson. The 2 Lockies combining. Without intent, Henderson bounces it through for a goal. That's his second.
A bit of Lindsay Thomas about this one too.
Well, it's been interesting, Henderson. I mean, I coached him for a couple of years when he first was drafted by the Brisbane Lions, and I always thought he was at the wrong club because Jonathan Brown made it hard for another big forward to be able to really establish himself. But, geez, he's becoming a good player as he's getting now. And there's...
Now, Scotty here, this is after Lindsay Thomas's goal, so I'm not sure.
Well, Lindsay Thomas kicked the goal and he came off the ground straight away. It might be perhaps that he's in red-hot form, so...
You'd think the only thing you'd be upset about is he's come off to interchange when maybe he would have liked him to have stay on or something.
So Lee, just on Lockie Henderson,
well, just his improvement. He's just getting better and better, and he's now become a good defender and obviously a very dangerous key forward as well.
So for the 2nd week in a row, he kicks 2 first-quarter goals, Henderson, and Carlton needed it. Still getting the clearances north. Tom talked about how good they are in that area before the match. Zeeble, Tui. Back to Scotland. It's all a bit on the back foot, the Blues, but they've got 3 goals themselves. But the 2 threes together, Bastanak and Murphy. Gibbs arched his back. That was good.
Couple of bounces. Runs the boundary line. Nice kick. Yaron waited for it. Hine grabbed him by the arm.
There's good closing speed by Hine, but just was trying to make up too much space and had to chop the arm.
So Yaron 55 metres out. That's not 15. Carazzo, good umpiring. Carazzo, Walker, high ball down towards full forward. Where's Henderson? He's in that pack, lurking behind, arriving quickly. Betts misses the first, kicks the second opportunity. Oh, crumbing forwards, running riot at the moment at both ends of the ground, big and small.
Well, entertaining game of footy, and I mean the thing with Lockie Henderson starting as a key forward for Carlton is good for the game because it means that they have a genuine target, tall in the smalls, and from a pure spectacle it means that Carlton are actually a little bit vulnerable down back, and the North Melbourne tall forwards are creating great contests. So really entertaining first quarter so far.
Lee, Betts and Carlton will love having Henderson there, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. Well, there was 2 Carlton big forwards and the 3 big defenders for the Kangaroos, but the Carlton pair were able to still make the contest, bring the ball to ground, and Betts was able to feed off that.
Bit of a shootout. Goldstein winning the tap, and Murphy riding.
Wow.
Good decision, I reckon.
So Cunnington gone, and Scotland quickly on, and Rose on a big long lead. Hanson did well. He just shoved him out of the way. Possibly could have given a free kick away. Cunnington gets it from Mackenzie. Well, pity it wasn't Cunnington to Mackenzie, because Scotland wouldn't have the ball. But Thompson got back and got into the hole courageously in front of Judd and took the mark. Quite smart for Judd tonight. So Thompson off that step, gets some distance.
Clears the pack out there, runs on. Scotland lays it off. Two veterans combining. Carranzo, defensive side of the wing, goes down towards half forward. Over the top, Henderson, tough landing. Ackley the crumb, runs the boundary. Kicks towards half forward for his team. Cruiser with great courage went back, falls in front. Walker tackled by Goldstein. John out of there, trying to charge his way through was Mackenzie. He was taken down, picking up the football is Scotland. Wells has got him. They move it about 5 metres, falling over. It's slippery on those logos. Thomas went down, and the umpire calls for it. That's not my imagination, is it, Tommy? It is slippery on those logos.
And on both sides at the moment, Demi. I've noticed a number of players lose their footing.
Now we've got a blood rule. Well, I've watched a number of replays too, and I've seen players
Plenty of time, just right.
invariably at just about every venue in the competition sliding over what is painted grass.
It's interesting. I've just really been monitoring this situation with how much match time Goldstein has. Now, he's still in the ruck. He's been in the ruck the whole quarter. Now, Cruz has come off with the blood rule. Rose into the ruck again. There's certainly it's certainly going to be interesting to see how he can play the game out, Goldstein, when he's really been double teamed by two fresh ruckmen at him all the time.
So Carlton up forward, a real mosquito fleet now.
So they've done them proud in the past. Hey, Richo, we just saw Cruiser, obviously, but Mickey Moldhouse down there. Is that earlier than normal? I mean, it's 5 minutes to go.
He does like to come down with a couple of minutes, but you're right. I reckon it is a little bit earlier than normal, 3 or 4 minutes.
So crucial stage in this match. Scotland, high tackle. North Melbourne have won 13 of 15 opening quarters. In fact, Josh reliably tells me they've scored about a third of their scores in the opening term. So they've been so productive, but Carlton at the moment keeping up with them. That's a good kick, though, and a good mark. So Black. So it's 4 goals to 4. Carlton have kicked the last couple. They've been fleetingly in front tonight. Could he go all the way here?
He's very powerful.
And he's going to kick from about 52 metres. Oh, wow. No worries about the distance, but everything else was off.
You can see himself really thinking his way through that. He never really felt or looked comfortable having a shot from out there. But he started the game well, Black. He moves exceptionally well. Looks a top-class athlete, doesn't he?
So here's this interesting. So Mickey having a little chat to Walker.
Meantime, the bearded one comes away. That's Simpson to Tui. Tui, right half back. Well, forces himself onto his left foot. That was non-thinking football, and it bounces out of bounds.
Signed a new contract during the week. He's been one of the great stories of the past couple of years. Zach Tui heard him on the radio during the week and just loving playing Australian rules football.
Carlton got the bit of extra play around the stoppage, but Hanson is just floating in the back 50 spare for the Kangaroos. I must say I like the Kangaroos set up better than in that regard.
Adams is getting a free kick at the base of that pack.
And North Melbourne are still winning the stoppages, so Carlton are getting no real advantage there, and they're not going to get through with Hanson sitting there.
That's about where it happened last year. We won't go back over recent history, but about there.
You haven't stopped thinking about it.
Grimer kicks inside the forward 50. On the lead, pushing up the ground, Black. Goldstein got the crumb, lays it off brilliantly. The look-away hand pass. Zeeble finds his way through, did the hard work and misses everything.
Interesting, Gibbs looks like he's got the Zeeble matchup, but when Zeeble spent this last 5 minutes of the game forward, Gibbs went back into defence.
Cruiser might ask for the helmet.
Would Murphy's fit him?
I don't reckon that. I don't reckon that'd fit. I don't reckon that'd fit.
At least it's Black. More fashionable.
So Grimer got the crumbs and then belting forward. Well, Cunnington was in the right spot.
Let's be honest, it's the lesser of two evils, Dan, isn't
Exactly,
it? The helmet,
yes.
helmet and the mummy wrap.
Pretty rich coming from me to hairstyles.
No comment from me either.
So Cunnington's been very good with the set shots this year. He's 9 from 10. This is a hard kick, but let's see if he can just left to right it slightly. Well, he straightened it up. He didn't have to left to right, it just hanging out at the end. So he misses. So North have had the shots, haven't they? Probably had 3 really gettables, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, they've had that 4 set shots that were, 40 metres, not that acute an angle.
That's a beautiful kick coming in. Yaron didn't quite watch it into his hands there, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Twice I've watched Taylor Hine. He's got outstanding closing speed, and Yaron's not going to get an easy kick, particularly on a lead like that, and so he's got to make the most of every opportunity because Hine's going to wear him like a glove.
Great start to this game. 28 plays 24. Friday night football. Wells got it from Goldstein, but that's a wayward kick. Wasteful, out of bounds on the floor.
She's not just the set shots, Dennis. I mean, Zeeble and Wells in the last, what, 2 minutes?
Yep.
Missing the lot.
So you take those 2 misses into account, Bruce. It's 10 scoring shots from 13 inside 50s.
Jamison under pressure, gets the kick off. Petrie coming across his bars there. Reimer, that's a strong grab by the Tasmanian, pushing up, clutching it, but left half forward. There's tall targets lurking in this direction. This time it's Tarrant, worked out of it by Watson, well played, but behind them is Petrie, and Petrie at least scores, didn't miss by much, pulled it back too abruptly.
Well, I mentioned the other 2, Zeeble, a moment ago, but what about Black was the other one? So they've had Wells, Zeeble and Black have all missed the lot. Petrie are behind there, so Carlton at the moment have dodged a bullet, I reckon, in this opening term so far. Wow, Watson torpedoes the ball to Henderson, gets over the back. Well, Betts is in a good spot here. He's got Armfield running. Eddie looking. Curnow surely couldn't kick 2 goals in the opening term. He can. Wowee. The Blues are in front.
It's interesting, that kick where that long torpedo punt down the centre. The big issue here is the Kangaroos have to punch the ball back. Every aerial player, and they let it get over the top, and almost inevitably the little runners are going to be onto it.
Well, there's a term in defensive play. You have an anchor defender, and you've got to be that last person between goal. And to your point, Lee, once it's over the back, you're in all sorts. But geez, they've made the most of their opportunities. Carlton to be in front now.
I'll say all those misses at the other end, but that shouldn't have been a surprise. Watson did that a couple of times last week, got onto the spiral. North Melbourne lacks defending. Goldstein out, jumped by Cruiser. Swallow under pressure from Judd. Thumped on its way by Hine. Leading back, but getting a terrible bounce. Carranza, that was bad luck for him. Adams gave it across to Hansen. Kicks inside the forward 50. Walker trying to punch away. They're very height conscious. Now Thomas. Black is on. Thomas really had about 2 to choose from. Didn't need them. And just as well.
I tell you, I reckon they've been in front for less than a minute the 3 times they've kicked a goal, the Blues. Every time,
straight back.
North has got back and got that goal. Lindsay Thomas is just
He's been good, hasn't he? I mean, he missed his set shot. Yeah, the one set shot didn't miss it, but his other 3, just his ground level awareness, knowing where the opposition is, knowing where the goals are. I think Black might have been a better option in the goal square, but he took the punt and had the shot, got it home.
Well, he's been remarkable, Thomas. 3 opening quarter goals, missed the set shot. They've been in front 3 times, Carlton, for a total of 3 minutes and 48 seconds, but you can take 90 seconds off of the bouncing of the ball. So
Thanks, Todd.
North just refused to let them lead at quarter time. By the way,
for the Kangaroos, the final siren, that's the only concern about when they want to be in front.
No worries about leading a quarter time for the Kangaroos. They do that every week. Hawthorn, the only other team to get 5 first-quarter goals against the Kangaroos this year, but Thompson getting back. And Curnow, multiple goals for the first time in his career tonight, getting them in the opening term. So it's been a remarkable first quarter. It really has. I mean, North could have been 9 goals by now. I mean, they've missed some easy shots.
It was last time on Friday Night Football, as we realised they were in front on the final siren and the Eagles beat them after the siren.
They were, Lee.
So even him being in front on the final siren's not going to win you the game.
McMillan and Tui, good mark. Lee's getting complicated.
That's when the little guy at the back of the grandstand gets confused. There's Tui from left half back, drives it down towards half forward. Rowe, big leap from behind, stayed on his feet too, well played, kept coming. Lucas under pressure. Carazzo slips a hand pass across to Rowe. He did the heavy lifting early, kicks it down towards the pocket, knocked away down there by Hine. Getting back in number North, Cunnington. He took on the tackler. That's holding the footy, I reckon.
I think it is.
Oh, you can't do that, son.
Well, the precedent was set early in the game. As soon as you take that one step to take on, and I think it was might have been Murphy the first time in the centre clearance. You might think it's a bit hard, but there's the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's only a half step, but he didn't have the prior.
It's a good tackle from Mark Murphy.
You are a soothsayer, Lee. It's not the final siren, but you saw this
That's
coming.
it. We know it's coming through. The siren's gone. They're in front.
Remarkable. That's where we're lucky, Bruce. Genius up here never takes a holiday, does it?
Richard and I were talking before the game and just commenting off air how Lee is never wrong. He's just
well, no, you're included in that. I saw you nodding when Lee was talking about that siren. Murphy puts the goal through. Carlton lead at quarter time by a point. 36 plays 35. How was that for a quarter on Friday Night Football?
Let's go down to Brad Scott with Richo.
There you go. Brad, what's your take on the first quarter?
Oh, you look at the scoring shots, and I think 3 or 4 out in the full. I think the game's been played pretty much the way we want it to be played. Obviously, they've kicked accurately, and we've let them in for some easy goals, so that's been disappointing. But I think if we continue on going with what we're going with, I think it'll turn our way.
You're playing pretty good footy. You're getting a shot on goal now almost every time you go in there, basically.
Yeah, I think the forward half looks dangerous, but we want to look at the back half and make sure that that's sound, and then we can attack from there.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Richo. That story about the Geelong defender Harry Taylor tweeted today, signed for 5 more years at Geelong.
Yeah, that's a big. He's a 27-year-old.
27 to 32.
32, wonderful player. And it's interesting. Brad Scott was talking about their conversion, but the Carlton are kicking the goal every second time they're going in. So both forward lines are looking pretty good.
I thought Harry was toying with the idea of going home. 5 years is not a guy who wants to go home anytime soon, is it?
It's a fair statement to suggest that he's perhaps going to finish his career in blue and white.
I reckon. What a player he's become, eh?
And what a player this young man might become, Dennis. And I'm talking about Eric Wallace, who's a American recruit for North Melbourne, who we're going to talk to at half-time tonight. A terrific story on him.
After the bounce then to start the second term, they work it forward through Adams. It bounces down towards half forward. Under pressure was Tarrant, stolen away by Tui. Kicks towards half forward. Hansen searching for the ball, didn't find it. Grimer, right half back towards the wing, lurking behind Tui, who sent it in initially. Under pressure, he was touched as he kicked. That affected the kick. Armfield played it brilliantly. Won the football, smothered it, gave it to Cruiser. Sent back to him by Garlett. Tracking the football, Zeeble. Waiting for him was Yaron. Zeeble wins the free kick, a high tackle. And puts it across to McMahon. Thompson, and now Adams.
So some good work from North there. Carlton had a chance. Harvey just looking at the Blues too. Gibbs just one disposal. Judd just a couple of disposals. So a couple of the big ball getters, not a lot of it early. So bonus there in front. So Petrie had a significant role in the first quarter. That's a poor kick. And Simpson, gee, what a fine player Simpson is.
See, Lindsay Thomas has pulled up Saw in the centre square there. He's hobbling a bit.
3 goals to Thomas. So Gibbs just the one disposal in the opening term. Zeeble his man, and Cruiser also a quiet first quarter. So,
and just on those Carlton mids, Carlton not playing as one-on-one here. They've got Curnow and Keisha have done the roles. Keisha's actually a sub. Curnow's not playing one-on-one. Gibbs is, so far more freewheeling Carlton midfield.
Henderson, the high ball inside the forward 50. Off hands, Yaron hit the pack hard. Dragged down by Hine, right in his hip pocket, well played. Nicely worked. Mullet got it across, and then a chain of hand passes resulted. Eventually it comes out of defence from Adams. Harvey's got it. That was very clever by Mullet, off balance, just poking it through the pack. He saw a blue and white jumper on the other side. Admittedly, they had the numbers, but even so, he was under a fair degree of pressure. Here he is again. He was battered last week. Battered and bruised. Mullet around the outer side. Here's an opportunity now for McKenzie. Just loops it over the top. Grimer goes back inside. Hansen short on the lead. Black, was he tackled in midair? Apparently not. Well played by Walker.
and then scrambles the ball forward. An important one-on-one here. Henderson against Grimer. Henderson had to fish, but he did very well. Henderson flicked it back. Hansen brought down. Curnow probably deserved a free kick. Hansen scrubbed him around the neck. Grimer off a step. Looked pretty neat off the boot. Good stretch. Zeebel's up and about, isn't he? And using the run of Worrells. And then Worrells squeezing wide. Looks a good kick. And Thomas, who was a bit wounded a moment ago. Well, that's interesting. Thomas, he had, I think, Petrie on his own in the goal square. So we'll see where Thomas might have hurt himself here, top of the screen. Okay, been run into, so maybe a corky or something.
And this is one of the toughest kicks, and we might get Rich Oatey comment on after it, when he's really exploded for 50, 60 metres at top speed, now has to regain his composure and slot one from 50.
He's got this great record against the Blues, 19 goals in 5 coming in, 3 goals in the opening term, but he missed the set shot in the first quarter, and he misses it again, and that's the old Lindsay, isn't it? That's the one we've forgotten about.
That's the lactic acid build-up, and you've got to sprint and get the ball, and that was my excuse anyway. It's serious. Sometimes you get the footy and you feel like you can't even kick it, and I reckon he had a little bit of that then for short time.
Well, he had Petrie loose, and he decided to turn his back and go back and have a shot, and the end result wasn't so good.
McGuinness lays it off to Walker. Runs the outer side, kicks it beyond the wing. Lucas and McKenzie. Juggle mark by Lucas, immediately off. Terrific stuff. Kane Lucas runs to 50, takes something off. And the mark is taken by Garland. He came back hard on the lead.
That's where North Melbourne have really got to improve. That transition from their defensive 50, their forward 50 to the defensive 50 hasn't been good enough all season.
Well, Lindsay Thomas might have copped a corky. Couldn't have helped the kick at the other end. Dying out that, the drive-by corky. 50 metres off the footy. There goes the kick. Garland makes them pay, puts it through. Margin 7 points. That was well played a couple of times by Lucas to take the mark and then have the audacity to take off, and then a beautiful pass to hit Garland.
In that Kangaroos defence, they look to me just to be a big player too many. I mean, with them, they got Hansen down there, they got Grimer down there, they got Thompson down there, and basically there's a couple of tools for Carlton, Henderson, and Rowe, and a lot of smalls.
So 7 straight goals. They did that in the opening term against. And to think that you're talking about the tools they've dropped Ferrito out tonight. He's sort of a
he's a medium tool. It's more just the kind of player like would play on the Garland Betts type, bit of a similar size and shape.
Mark Murphy free kick. Mark Murphy free kick.
It's a dangerous stage for North here, isn't it? I mean, they've had all the shots.
Right out, clear out.
And Carlton get their biggest lead of the match here. First time they've really got any breathing space. Murphy. It's been good, Murphy. Rowe made a contest. Curnow, a couple of goals in the opening term. Gibbs, Murphy again. He is up and about tonight, the captain. And then kicks to full forward. McLean, well done.
Good mark. Marked it anyway.
They're a good match physically, those two guys, McLean and McMahon. About the same weight and height, you would have thought. We'll see them here together.
He just pushed so hard into him. That was the hands in the chest just were able to protect the drop zone. He marked it, but he was going to get the free kick anyway from the grapple.
It's 4-6 from set shots, McLean, so he can be a little bit erratic, but this gives Carlton a real break, doesn't it? Because they have been chasing for much of the night. They've had leads, we know, but they haven't been able to hang on to them. But they're now putting a bit of space between themselves. Well, that's a big miss.
Oh, dear.
So not good from the set shots. Got to nail him. He knows that. 7-1-5-5.
So Muller to himself. Takes off. From the pocket. Drives it towards the outer side. Black is being held onto that time. He wins the free kick. He really presents well, this young man.
Play on.
Very dangerous. Kicks beyond the wing to a pack. Only one man contests. Lockie Hansen down towards left half forward. Told he's gone. Kicks inside the forward 50 then. Tarrant had it knocked away by Watson. Well played. Swallow did well. Goes with the outside of the boot. It's coming back. Oh, bounced on its point. Goes at right angles and still goes through for a behind.
So here's the Lindsay Thomas now. I think Carazzo's the one running into him there. And
yeah,
looked like he's kneed him.
The ball magnet was attracted to him.
Yeah.
So kick out wide. McLean the target. McMahon, so McMahon wins this duel and then sets it up. Well done. Wells protected the space and Swallow ran across and took the mark.
Did really well there, Daniel Wells, didn't he? Summed up the situation pretty well and just held off the ground. The Swallow drifted in.
He hasn't kicked a goal, Swallow, from a set shot all year. He's a
hard runner as a midfielder. He hasn't got enormous pace, but gee, he runs hard. He really spreads away from the stoppages really quickly.
It's interesting, Lee, too, because he's the captain and a lot talked about leadership.
Yeah.
And he's won 3 of the last 4 best and fairest of the club, but even his position's been doubted at times, you know, in this sort of malaise that they can't finish matches off.
Well, you get the sense, I mean, he looks like an absolute professional and he's a good young player. He's won best and fairest, so the next evolution in his leadership is just that presence on the field to control games. His contribution can't be underestimated.
Lindsay Thomas gives up 50.
It's the second stage of leadership, isn't it, Tom? The example set in his first stage, but stage 2 is to positively influence those around you, and that's the hardest to get of the really good leaders.
Typically just comes with experience as much as anything else, and such high expectations on young quality people to fast track that.
Walker, Curnow, and now Simpson. He's about 70 metres out. Play on's the call. Simpson waits, sends a high ball inside the 50. North well represented down there. Yarran, though, in front, came down to Betts across to Scotland, centres the football loose at the back. Dangerous times. Swallow in trouble, did well. Stayed on his feet. Grimer now. Got it from Tarrant, who's a long way back and in trouble. Grimer slings it to Wells. Bit lucky to escape there. Tarrant got it from Atley. Now the run comes from the captain. 3 times best and fairest. Simply kicks to space. Jamison gets across there first. Bit of a fumble. Closing is Petrie. Petrie will nab him now. As a result, forced the error. The hand pass from McMillan came to Tarrant. Centering ball. McKenzie will hit the man going back. You watch. There you go. Bastanak runs in. Oh, doesn't a good kick help?
Well played, McKenzie. Well played, Dennis. It was, dare I say, perfect centimetre. But he is a good kick. Again, we saw a turnover in the rebound. This time it was North Melbourne.
Carlton were on the way out, but once they gave the ball back, then your whole defence is out of position. But it was just an intelligent kick on the way through to pop it inside to McKenzie, because there was no one forward. And then it was the Bastanek. He just charged forward, got on the end of it.
What about Petrie's effort, eh?
Yeah, that was the one.
This was clever by Grimer. I mean,
he just took his. Well, he had to really. He really couldn't knock it through. Well, he probably could have knocked it through from there, I guess, but he actually took the punt and it's worked.
That was handball at its absolute best, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then Petrie's effort at centre wing to chase Jamison down was just fantastic. So North get it back, so we're back to all square here. McGuinness dragged down by Black. Bastanak. What's Juddy had, Dennis? I'm just looking in there. Is he?
Well, after my editorial, he's had 3.
I just haven't noticed him, have you?
2.
No. It might have gone early on him. Do you think I did?
No, he's got some runs on the board.
Even so, quiet. Yeah, here's Black. Confronted. McGuinness got him. Harvey kept it going. Was aware of where the help was. Got it across to Adams, to McKenzie. And McKenzie goes with the right boot. Beautiful.
Good boy, isn't he? From Marrionville High in South Australia.
That Marrionville High, I reckon Bruce would wear these colours if I...
I reckon you might be right, Tom. I mean, it's a very well-known school in South Adelaide, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's an emerging young star, this boy.
Well, you've been on him from the start, haven't you?
Just the way he moves, I mean, it's impressive, and he's got courage.
He's got vision, hasn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He looks periphery vision. Good finish. 7th game tonight. Have you seen much of him, Lee McKenzie?
No, only a little bit, I must say. This might be even the first time I've seen him actually live, but he's impressive. Like, good medium size, good speed. They got a few of that group, the Kangaroos, that are all coming through, and one would hope, you know, another 30, 40 games under their belt, they could be very good players.
Gee, can't they get a quick goal out of the centre, North Melbourne, tonight? I mean, we've just seen it again there. So they get back in front. They've had 6 more scoring shots. Tui just couldn't quite get a handle on it. Tui. Goldstein to Adams, and then Adams on the left. Good kick. Again, a centre clearance. Well, Tui had the opportunity there, and he just couldn't handle it. Now, Petrie can go all the way. Well, he decides not to. That's an interesting kick. Wow. Not sure about that, but it's a free kick anyway. Again, well, it's against them. Why would Petrie do that?
Yes, it didn't look like there was an obvious target on, and he was within kicking distance. It was a very strange decision.
Harvey to cut it off.
Brilliant by the veteran. Slams a hand pass only as far as Judd, who comes from half back. Chips it across to McLean, under pressure, gets the kick away. The target is Lucas, and again strong hands. We saw him on the outer side take a brilliant mark. Now Zeeble in trouble.
It's gone down.
Well, he had a knee problem last week, Dennis, and overcame a fitness test this week to play.
Oh, bad news for North Melbourne right there. Meantime, Lucas looks inside the forward 50, sends it long, so adversity now confronting North Melbourne, stretching. Hansen does well. Still playing pretty well. Zeeble coming off the ground, only 5 possessions, so they've got to think of it that way. This is Hine.
Bryce Gibbs has done a pretty good job on Zeeble most of the night with only the 5 possessions.
Well, that might be the danger. The other side of the coin, that suddenly Gibbs is free to do what he wants to do if Zeeble is in fact out for the night. We'll find out soon. Richo monitoring that closely. I hope Goldstein goes down towards half forward. Harvey surrounded. Well done, Simpson. Murphy back to Simpson. Backs away through the arms of the oncoming Cunnington. Back towards Simpson. They really played themselves under pressure there. High ball. Grimer misses it. Chance for Gibbs. Well done. Was he pushed to the back? No, free. Grimer grabs the football. Tries to wrench it away from Garlett. Nothing doing. And the umpire calls for it. So a nasty gash there. If that's all it is, but I think it may be more serious than that.
Scotland trying to break the tackle. Carazzo trying to get it out away from Adams. Then Swallow back to Worls. Such a smooth mover, Worls. Went back.
Oh.
Well, Hansen asked a lot of, but takes the mark from Hine. And then North with an opportunity. McMillan comes into the centre. Atley, now Atley's a run and carrier, but he's held up here. Little give to Hine. His closing speed, Tom's talked about ex-Gold Coast Suns. Back to Grimer, so they're just catching their breath, North, here a little bit. Just composing for a moment on a long lead, Tarrant. And I think Grimer will get to him, and he does. He worked hard, Tarrant, there.
I like this. This is part of the evolution of North Melbourne, and this is how they ultimately need to win games when they're being surged from the opposition side. So, albeit not crucial at this stage of the game, but it's a good learning tool.
But that was a poor kick, Tom. I mean, Jamison was hurled down by McInnes, and then Petrie and Jamison over the top.
We just need to maintain possession, so that's maintain possession by moving forward. It's working the ball off the line and trying to draw uncontested marks. So it's, albeit the second quarter, it's a good opportunity to keep development.
Carazzo left half back, sends it up towards the wing. Rowe locked arms in midair there with Thomas. Wow! Well, Garlett's away, paid advantage. Like to see that again. Goes over the top to Betts, needs a bounce, got the bounce, pushed as he kicked. Racing back is Black, hammers it, numerically working backwards. And the ball taken across the line for a minor score. Well, that was a very interesting one on the wing. And that is terrific defence. Well done, McMillan. Now Grimer's got the football in the back pocket. Didn't seem, and it happened right in front of us, to be a free kick on the wing, to be honest.
Agreed. And Garlett thought that Betts had the speed for McMillan there because he put the ball in front of him. Could have kicked it himself, Garlett. So Zeeble, and the big concern here. Harvey, the target, played it pretty well, Harvey. So does Simpson in the end. Not giving, oh, well done, Simpson. He won the points. And Jamison straight to the boundary, and the umpire has the pressure off him because it's out on the fall. So here's the Zeeble injury. Oh, got the kick on the knee, by the look, was it?
Yeah.
Inside of the knee. That looks painful. Whack. Just underneath the knee. So McMahon back. I know Richo's keeping an eye. Richo might try and get the doc too, Richo, pretty soon, but he's important, Zeeble.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're down a rotation at the moment. Key midfielder. They're mentioning that it may be his shin that they're worried about.
Harvey got it from Thompson, and then short. Petrie. Harvey. Well, back to Thompson. He's still got some time here. Back to Grimer. Grimer off the step, sets it up. Carlton should be able to belt it away. Well played there by Cunnington. Still Cunnington. McLean holds him up. Petrie being held up. Can he get his handball away? Half did throw.
Holding the footy.
Holding the footy. Back it'll come to Carlton.
Jamison.
Jamison just drops it back to the back pocket. So that Zeeble first update doesn't sound too bad, eh? Kick would hurt, but I'm not sure there'd be much serious damage. We'll check with the doc, though. Lurking behind Wells. We saw the laceration on his shin too there. Oh, in trouble and giving it up that time. McMillan, who saved their hide only moments ago. Centred ball, Armfield, Judd on the overlap. Goes down towards the pocket. Wandering sort of kick, but good enough. And Garlett goes back and takes the mark about 10 metres in from the line, 30 metres out. You'd like him from here. He's booted one. That gives him 33 for the season. 3 hauls of 4. And Zeeble on a slow walk. Hopefully a testing walk. Garlett, well, he's got it to go left to right. Not many people can do that. He puts it through for a goal. Remarkable kick.
Well, he's related to Buddy, and Buddy can go left to right.
Yeah.
That's the way they kick the ball over in West Australia, didn't they?
First cousins, aren't they?
First cousins, yeah. It's a good goal.
Good call, Dennis. I mean, it was a tough kick, but he nailed it all right. So Carlton keep that accuracy up, eh?
Yeah, and North Melbourne, when they get their hands on the ball, need to maintain the tempo.
So here's the Zeeble entry. Now, Doc Larkins, courtesy of 3AW. What can you tell us, Doc?
Well, this is the broken leg tibia that he got a direct kick right over the unprotected shin bone. He's up and about at the moment, Bruce. They've iced him up heavily, so it's not broken again. It's just very bruised in the bone. They're trying to work out the pain control.
Thanks for that, Doc. So, OK, so it might be a reasonable result. We've had 8 lead changes tonight. An amazing first half. McInnes taps it away. Tui did well. He held up Swallow. Gibbs, well done by Thomas. How did he steal that to fall forward? Petrie looking for a free. Jamison, Simpson. He's such a mopper-upper of Simpson. And that is a magnificent kick. He kicked to the advantage. He didn't have much room for error. And Murphy half-worried out of it. And there is Zeeble. So the Doc's prognosis was pretty good, I reckon, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, it's always accurate, but from Zeeble's point of view, pretty good. He's a good kick, Simpson, isn't he?
I'll say.
Good player.
Down in front. Wells goes after it. Haven't called his name too often, or often enough for North. Pulls it back towards the middle. Dangerous spot, really. Opens up the field for Carlton if they can win this ball. North win it back, though. Bastanak on his knees, feeds it out. Harvey goes back to Wells. Wells this time goes for distance. Down towards full forward. Could have been a free kick to Petrie. Off hands comes to Swallow. Swallow snaps and misses everything. Hit the behind post on the bounce. Well, Petrie certainly manhandled there in that exchange as he came to the football.
See a little bit of jumper hole.
You always know every time there's a one-on-one contest, Jamison is really troubled by just the bulk, the size and bulk of Petrie.
And here's Petrie doing the ruck work with Cruiser. Just getting shoved out, Cunnington. Adams trying to hold it up. Yaron's tackle, strong. Judd trying to pick their pockets. Getting down low, McLean. Back to Judd. Well played, Judd to Cruiser to McLean. There's a bit of resilience about Carlton tonight. McLean, a third running bounce, and then caresses the footy. Good kick. Haven't called Rose name. Running hard, Henderson. Rose kick. Henderson waiting, goal. Henderson's got another one, and the Blues stretch their lead. End-to-end stuff again. It's the old transition that Richo has talked so much about North Melbourne. That's why Juddy was good there. Zeeble's back on the ground.
It's interesting, the player they had behind the football was the ruckman. But it's the reason why the ruckman aren't much good as spares in defence anymore. The ball just comes in too quickly, and somehow or other Grimer went to another Carlton player, and Goldstein ended up having to chase Henderson back. As soon as that happens, the foot race was going to be outmatched.
Well, there's McLean coming through the middle of the ground, but that started in North Melbourne's forward 50, and that's one area this year they've been very ordinary at it, defending the middle part of the ground. Teams are able to transition on them far too easy. That's second time this quarter the Blues have done that.
Bruiser knocks it forward. Attlee's got it, lays it off. Swallow dodges a shadow, gives it to Adams, kicks inside the forward 50. Petrie leads back this time, close to the behind. And I think he pushed it out of bounds, which was very clever. He had the option. There's Zeeble back on the ground, so Fingers crossed, just a shin burner issue. Tossed in. The Dogs seem to think they need to watch that carefully, and it was all about restricting the pain as the ball comes back inside the centre square. But certainly the shin was lacerated, and they were treating that as well. Now, pushing out towards the wing is Scotland. Hooks it across his body, pushed in the back. He's going to get a free kick. So dangerous times here for North Melbourne. 3.5 minutes to half-time.
Push him out to kick, Jamie, so it's got to be here.
That's in the act of kicking.
Hey, come around.
Probably a good result because Eddie Betts was out then. Probably a professional free kick, that one.
If Scotland turns 33 on Sunday. Kick goes inside the forward 50. Simpson and Walker combining. Chance there for McLean, smothered by Thompson, standing on the football bets. Attlee, little 1-2 with Goldstein, did brilliantly. Zeeble back into the fray. Goes short and finds McMillan.
All up the field, the Kangaroos forward, so they can't really go quickly. Just got to try and share it a little.
Eddie came very close to the kicker there. Could have almost been 50. Well played by Walker. Got to the contest, came hard, knocked it away from Adams. Out of bounds.
Thomas disappointed there. He was sort of in the hole there, and had McMillan spotted him, he should have been on. So Goldstein and Rowe. Maybe have a look, Lee, and tell me how long Goldstein's been out there for. Zeebel's kick forward. Curnow held up. Jamison. And then Walker's quick kick down the line. Thompson, well played against Betts. It's been an interesting duel. Richo talked about the difference in height between the two, but the fact they've got a bit of history. Hansen. Back he goes to McMahon.
I think he's had one spell, Goldstein, but mostly he's in the forward line a little bit. But geez, working hard. They are double teaming. It'll be a tough second half for him.
Because a lot's been talked about the fact that maybe when he fades late, if he does, that teams have been taking advantage because he's a one-man band.
On the outer side, North win a 50-50 ball. Bastanak comes away with it then. Goes down towards half forward. Harvey wheels around, wants to deal down towards half forward and does. Cunnington, 60 metres out, kicks to space. Black forced to go back, and being held, McGuinness will get the free kick. They got tangled up, and McGuinness was held. The umpire only 10 metres away, umpire Stevick. McGuinness wasting no time. There's the hold. Watson, who can kick it a long way, but this kick favours Grimer. And that was good concentration. The ball coming in. Garlett was coming back on in, but Grimer, eyes only for the football, took the mark.
They've got to get better at this sort of set play here, the Kangaroos.
Grimer touched on the mark. Simpson presented with a problem. Coming through Zeeble. Zeeble wheeling around, nobody on him. Beautiful. Bastanak.
Just thinking about the tall North Melbourne players more broadly. I mean, Drew Petrie, we sort of all acknowledge can play a pinch hit second ruck, but he's so valuable for maybe in the future you can look at a Grimer or a Black or another one of the younger developing types to pinch hit in the ruck and leave Tarrant maybe. Tarrant as well, leave Petrie as a permanent forward.
What was Zach Toohey up to there with Jack Zeeble? That was interesting.
Moving on, Jake. 15 seconds!
Very odd. Meantime, Bastanak has got the football. Might be able to show you. Bastanak kicks, need this goal, and he hangs it out to the right. North bleeding opportunities at the moment, as they did in the opening term.
What did he do, Dennis? Did you see it?
Well, watch his leg here. I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve.
Just a little tap, I think. Just
that's what happened to you before. That kind of
action replay, you reckon?
I think so, yeah.
Just too far to reach down with his hand.
Field's kick wide, boundary throw in.
That's provocative, though, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly provocative. I mean, as far as the actual impact, I don't think there's much. It's just a bit cheeky, isn't it, Dan?
But the reason he's got the injury was provocative too.
Impish, Irish sense of humour, you're saying, Tom?
Perhaps.
So Carlton in front here. North Melbourne have spent a lot of energy in this match so far. You just feel like the Blues are in a good spot. I do anyway.
Yep.
Free kick to Hine. See, the other thing about those tall North Melbourne forwards, they suddenly look slower to me in this last 10 minutes. I mean,
well, it's almost three at the one time. It's hard for three of them to all be able to get the ball in the air, but you know in the ground level they are going to be a bit cumbersome.
So Carlton do lead at half-time, so what an interesting first half, a bit of everything. Injury or two, misses for North Melbourne, some miraculous goals, lead changes, there's Tui. Half-time here, we're off to the North Melbourne rooms. It's 7-8 to 9-2 on a Friday night. The Blues by a goal.
As we check the scoreline, 56 to 50. Swallow 14 possessions, leads all comers for Carlton. Walker 13, Simpson 13, Carazzo 12. And behind Swallow, Brymer has 13, Brett Harvey 13, Lee Adams 13. Time to take a peek at a live ladder, which obviously is good news as far as the Blues are concerned, Bruce.
It is, because if they win tonight, Dennis, and Carlton will take Port Adelaide's place at least for 24 hours in the top 8, so a massive night for them. Port Adelaide will be sitting back in South Australia hoping that North win, because it's a good result for them, but it makes North Melbourne's job impossible, like you'd think, if they lose tonight. There's just no room to move for them.
Well, it's a possibility still 11 wins might pop you into that 8th spot, so I guess that still gives up hope for any of those sides that are around the 6 wins, even if you're going to win 5 out of 6 to get to 11.
And depending what happens with the Bombers, of course, it could be a top 9, couldn't it? Even so, it's pretty tough. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
I mean, there's some crucial games this weekend. West Coast and Sydney's another one, isn't it? If West Coast were to win, then things change again. What do you think, Dennis? I just feel like Carlton have got more upside going down to the North rooms. I mean, I just feel like they've done very well to be a goal in front, considering all the sort of shots North have had.
Yeah. Late in quarters, it could behove them to get some quicker legs on the forward line and take one of the big guys away, because late in that term, the big guys weren't chasing out as they needed to. Still, long way to go in this one. Start of the 3rd term. Knocked down by Goldstein. Strong tackle on Wells. Back towards Goldstein. Flicked out of there by Swallow. Kicked forward by Betts. Down towards half forward. Rose over the football. Claimed immediately. Lucas has been handy. In trouble, Cruiser. Kept it going goalward, though. Arriving quickly, Henderson, who's been very good. He's taken down. And the umpire calls for it just inside the 50 for Carlton.
Just thinking of, with Henderson, when Waite comes back, it's going to be interesting with Waite and Henderson, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you still need the second forward. The problem is, of course, you need the second forward who can play in the ruck as well. That's always going to be an issue for Carlton. Who is that?
And the key to all of that is how well Watson comes on as a key defender. I mean, he's a highly touted draft pick from a couple of years ago. If he can hold down a key defensive post, it's a pretty potent forward line, Henderson and Waite.
Cruiser. Indiscriminate. Carazzo, clever. Armfield's in a very, very good position and misses. So both these teams have a lot talked about the way they've been finishing matches. North has never won this year when trailing at any break. Quarter time, half time, or 3/4 time. Haven't won a match this season. Carlton have given up a lot of leads as well. We've seen that on Friday night footy with them. So it's a 7-point game.
That's a great stat. Mullet. No, that's not a good kick. Ricochets off the legs there of Simpson, and out it goes. So a boundary throw in. Carlton up by over a goal now. They led by a point at quarter time, by 6 at half time. Opening score of the 3rd term has gone their way. Out of the congestion, Bastanak gains about 35 metres. Another throw in coming up. So Rowe backs off. He did the rucking moments ago, and Cruiser comes up this time. Goldstein working against that combination. Little or no help. Down goes Swallow. Another boundary throw in. So after what was an exhilarating first half, sluggish start to the second half. Off in the way to begin a 3rd quarter. Players just get back out there and need to come to terms with the game. Cruiser, clean possession inside the forward 50. Getting a boot in there was Grimer. Brilliantly taken by Garlett. Oh, and he missed by about a metre. Sharp angle on the run. He is deadly.
It's been lively tonight, Garlett. Couple of goals, couple of misses. That was so close. Bastanak on the up. It was ripped away from Mackenzie. Murphy with a little sidestep and a check side and missing. So the Blues turn to miss a couple here. So here's the drop.
Yeah, it probably was dropping the ball. He's lucky to get away with that. That just all of a sudden the Kangaroos have lost their speed. The Carlton, which we think's got a quick side when they're all up and running as they are tonight. Just looking a bit zippy for the Kangaroos at the moment.
So Mullet, the Cruiser belting the ball forward. Adams doesn't quite take control. Tui with him. And then taking them on Grime. He's got those long arms, and Hanson's handball asked a lot of Swallow. Carazzo, free kick Carazzo. Feel like the wheels turned a bit here. And then Tui, what a kick. Not the first kick from him tonight, but it's a good one, that one. It's a goal. And suddenly the Blues have got the look of a winner about them. I know there's a long way to go here, but they've got a good break now.
North Melbourne free kick in the middle.
Well, we've just been told there's a North Melbourne free kick in the middle, so this will be interesting. We overheard the umpire, so they'll take it from the middle here.
Off the ball free against Carazzo. Put Lee Adams to the ground.
So North Melbourne getting a free kick against Carazzo, who put Adams down after that last goal. So Goldstein gets it in the centre circles. Great explanation there from the umpire Roseberry as the kick goes inside the forward 50. Well, grabbed by the arms in midair was Black, and he's going to get the free kick. McGuinness giving away a bit of height.
Just didn't want him to jump. He knew that if Black got the leap, he was not going to be able to match the height, so just grappled as the ball arrived. It was pretty obvious free kick once the umpire picked it up.
Even though there was time to come back and just see the ball coming in, it's still the most effective forward entry, a long ball straight from, in effect, a centre clearance, because defenders do get nervous.
So Black directly in front. Distance will not be a problem. A mere bagatelle for him, the distance. And the accuracy, though, is not there. Another miss. 51 plays 65, and he can sense that maybe, just maybe, the game, and with it the season, is slipping away.
Set shots tonight, Dennis. 1-5 North and a few out of bounds. 5-1 Carlton.
Oh,
that's a big miss by Petrie after Black's miss. Black's had 3 set shots on goal, and he's kicked 2 behinds and 1 out of bounds. Atley setting it up. Thomas was lurking in the front, and then taken by McMillan. A goal. They needed it. Well done, North. And you know, in a way, they got that goal because Carazzo gave a free kick to Dadders, because Carlton never really got it back out, did they, after Goldstein's kick in?
Line. It's always when they drive the ball to that 15-20 metres out in the centre corridor. That's that dangerous spot. If the offensive Crummer gets it, you got a fairly open goal, and McMillan was the one who was on the end of that play.
I can't believe Juddy's night tonight.
no.
He's got the numbers. Good finish, open goal, straight in front.
So back in the middle. North creep back closer. Goldstein wins this one. Fell at the ruckman's feet. Juddy in trouble, taken down by Zeeble. Cunnington trying to fight his way out of there. Nothing doing. Betts was waiting for him. Cunnington's gone.
Your free kick,
3 times now Cunnington caught holding the ball. Initial move there to take on the tackler again, or as I said, fight his way out of trouble. Tui goes down towards half forward, low down for Judd. Couldn't get onto it. Zeeble fed it away. Adams, Harvey, McMillan, been lively. Well played. Good evasion across half back. Good finish too. Comes to Tarrant. Tarrant's right on the wing. 65-57, early going third term. Tarrant taking some of the sting out of it. Goes back to Goldstein. Goldstein nothing doing out there, so it goes down towards half forward. Working in front is Black again. McLean too slick there for Yaron, who dives after the football desperately. Well played by Curnow. Shoveled it back towards the numbers. Cruiser kicks it up towards the wing. Betts trying to turn his man. He was away if he could have done that, because the man was Goldstein.
Goldstein has to do a bit, doesn't he? He's
playing the ruckman behind the ball, but so often he seems to be having to chase a Carlton forward. I don't think they want that set up.
Cruiser winning the tap easily. He's going to be exhausted, Goldstein.
Yeah.
And cross comes McMillan.
There's every look that Cruiser is getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on, and it was a really match-up we've been sort of monitoring all night in a way, and he's had very little rest time, Goldstein, and Cruiser was just looking the stronger.
He's lucky not to give a free away there, Goldstein. Judd's quick handball. Armfield a bit up, well, very much up and under. Yaron paid, so kept his eye on it. Did it travel 15? Doesn't matter. Umpire said it did. Walker, they've got the numbers, North. Grimer was in the front spot. Hanson couldn't keep Rowe out of it. Rowe did really well there to make the contest and cause a stoppage. They were set up north there with the extra defender.
Okay, Petrie. Or rather, it was Goldstein doing the ruck work. I was doing some figures on Petrie as the kick goes from Carlton and he kicks it behind. Petrie's played every minute, or Yaron rather. Petrie's played every minute of the game so far. Tarrant's been off for 4. Black's been off for 7.
Well, I reckon it's Tarrant.
Big minutes, aren't they?
Yeah, and I reckon it's Tarrant or Black that gives Goldstein the chop out. I think Petrie's the centrepiece to their forward line, and just go in there and run around with Cruz. He's not going to destroy you in the centre.
Yeah, Tom, it's definitely been Black that's gone into the ruck when he's gone forward.
So this is indecision.
Just strip over the line.
Yeah. Needed to think inside the square. Didn't. That was Atley. Toss up right on the kickoff line then. Goldstein lays it down into the path of Lucas, who's tackled by Swallow. Sorry there before, Bruce. You caught me on the hop. I was just doing those numbers, and I'm taxed by those sort of things, as you know.
You're doing well, Dan. Don't worry about that. You can actually do my tax return this year.
Steady, boss.
Swallow. Quick kick out. Does he get it far enough? Oh, that's a brilliant mark by Yaron. That was so courageous.
No, that was good. I mean, I don't know whether he normally goes for these balls as just as desperately as he did then, Yaron, but he went, he made himself go and took the good. That's a great progression in a lot of the way Yaron plays his footy, in my view. That's a really good, strong mark.
Confidence too.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of things, when you do it once, you know that you can get a result from it. Yeah, that was impressive.
2 behinds tonight. 4-5 from set shots coming in, so he's probably 50-50 from here. Well, he's kicked it. Carlton slip away again. He's had a good couple of minutes, Yaron. Well, that can make a bloke, I reckon, that sort of stuff. That really helps you, not only with your fans, but with your teammates and yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. And also yourself too, because sometimes you can surprise yourself out on the footy field, and it's such a high-pressure environment, and he's been under a lot of pressure as an individual this year for those sorts of acts, really. And that was a great effort, and goes back and kicks the goal.
It's a player, it's not his natural action to do that, Yaron. He willed himself into it. He knew he had to go. He knew it was his turn, and he took it. That's what you expect teammates to do.
Back in the middle then. Carlton on top. Goldstein gets highest, knocks it down. Carrazzo goes after the football. Swallow knocked down. Pasternak worked hard in there as well, but all to no avail. Scotland drives it long inside the forward 50. Reaching over the top, Grimer. Garlett left it behind, or did he? I think he may have paddled it across to the advantage of Gibbs. If he did, that was quick thinking, but Pasternak gets back and takes the mark. And just going back to those numbers I was talking about in terms of time played by the big guys on the forward line, it makes that forward line for North Melbourne very static. I mentioned before half-time they weren't chasing out as hard, but they could really mix it up, get some little guys in there from time to time, and maybe make Carlton think about their defence. At the moment, it's all too comfortable for Carlton. There's Walker, kicks inside the forward 50. Henderson, great challenge at the football. In trouble, Hanson dragged down, good tackle. Murphy, Henderson was wonderful. The leap initially, then the tackle, and the kick in is marked close to the behind post by Betts.
Well, he had the front position. Thompson's obviously a key position defender against Betts, who's only small, but he's good in the air, Betts, when he gets half a chance. At the footy, he'll be looking to craft something here. The one thing he won't be is kicking a normal drop punt, I wouldn't have thought. Banana, left foot across the body.
Expect something, expect something cagey, looking like he just stepped off a keyring. Here he is, Eddie Betts. Runs around, snaps and puts it through. He's got 2.
Well, he's kicked a couple, Garlett's kicked a couple. The Curnow ones were probably the bonus, but they've got 4 out of the little guys.
Yeah.
And Dennis talked about those big tools. A moment ago, Petrie and Black went for the same mark here on centre wing. Nobody was down, and they were able to go away with it.
They're getting tired. They're just not running and working hard enough.
Just change it up. I think you just play with 2 key tools, and Petrie's got to be one of them, and put one of them as a support act in the ruck.
7 goals from the small forwards tonight. We asked you earlier, who's the best of the small forwards? Well, Eddie Betts comes on top.
Tonight.
57, Thomas 35, Garlett 8.
They're taken over in the stoppages, so that's why the Kangaroos have really lost it. They were good in that in the first half, but now Carlton just keep winning the ball out of these midfield areas here.
So Gibbs hard on Wells here. Tom, a lot talked about leadership. Okay, give us a name or two or three from North Melbourne right now.
Well, I'm going to steer clear of Harvey and Petrie and go to the captain, Swallow, but I'd love to see more from Wells and even Goldstein just to exert himself with a bit of presence, not just playing out a game, but really directing the troops out on the park.
Because right now, someone's got to stand up.
Absolutely. And you're going to get it from Zeeble and you're going to get it from Harvey and those sorts of players. But as I say, Swallow, Wells, those types.
Well, the moment's arrived for North Melbourne. Their whole season is on the line now.
Couldn't ask for a better situation to stand up. 21 points down, season on the line in the third quarter.
Scotland down the line, speaking of that. Judd, so quiet tonight. Can he impose himself late? Attlee, we know he loves to run and carry. Petrie in the back half. They probably want him down the other end. Hanson, a bit of a hospital one. Lucas can't quite. It is unravelling a little bit here. Watson out wide.
Judd in space. Clear air. Kicks inside the forward 50. Oh, terrific by Garlick. Started behind, finished in front, finished with a football.
And can I add Hanson to that list as well? He's playing across half-back a lot of the time as a loose man. Stand up, be the roadblock to stop this Carlton surge.
The problem is, Tom, we're searching for them rather than seeing them.
You're right, Lee. Absolutely.
That's the difference. You're searching for possibilities rather than seeing the Selwood, Hodge type.
And this, not beyond him. Garlett kick is on the way. He loves it. Absolutely ecstatic with that one. He's kicked a beauty, and suddenly North Melbourne on their knees.
I think he only got 8%, Garland. He might be going up to 9 or 10 right now. I mean, these small forwards have now become very important.
And it's one of the, all three of them, we've watched them a lot of the year, and all three together haven't worked that often. But tonight, they all look dangerous.
Well, I reckon
all of the whole trio.
And don't underestimate the role that Lockie Henderson's playing in all of this as well. He's drawing the ball to them and getting them active. And then a couple of them got touches early from front and square. And now they're actually getting on the leads, and they're in good touch.
Well, I've loved Bryce Gibbs' game tonight. He's only had 7 disposals, but I've been watching him closely, and he's playing a really disciplined role. He's thinking defence first. He's doing a tagging job on mainly Zeeble, but Attlee also in the north midfield, and just sums up his attitude tonight.
So Petrie's in the ruck, but Carazzo got it out after McLean. Murphy to Garlett. He's kicked 3. He's about to kick 4. He does. Well, they have exploded the Blues. They've charged into the 8, you'd reckon. And it's off the back of Henderson early. And now the three amigos.
He might have pushed up in the 10% now, Jeffrey Garlett. But this is, I mean, it's a confidence thing. They've been able to start it, as you say, Bruce, with Henderson providing the target for them. And the smaller forwards got around the feet, and now they're starting to find who to replace. And the other thing is the North players, as a result, are extremely reactive. So the Carlton players are driving the flow of the game.
Taken over in the stoppages, 9 clearances to 1 in this third quarter Carlton's way, and when they really quickly attack the Kangaroos' defence, they look lost.
Don't they?
And the speed of the Carlton forward line is just leaving them behind.
Goldstein had a break of 1.5 minutes. He's back on the ground. He slaps it down. Third man arriving, Swallow got the football to Zeeble. Zeeble a high ball out towards right half forward. Bounces on its point. Coming up quickly, Zeeble to get his own kick taken high. He'll get the free kick. With the margin alarming now for North Melbourne. 6 points at half-time. And midway through the term, they find themselves down by, what's that, 33.
Gibson's on, Dennis.
Not before time. Kicks down towards the pocket. Curno's in trouble. And the umpire lets them play, and he'll toss it up.
Yeah, McMahon was the man that came off for Gibson.
So it's obviously not a tall that's been subbed.
Yeah, they've kept their full complement of height.
Bastanak tries to bend it. Doesn't bend it like Bastanak. He puts it across the face of goal. It's out of bounds. We'll have another throw in. There's Gibson. I thought he was pretty good last week against Brisbane. Well, he's got the job to do now to help his team come back from here. North have fallen away very quickly.
It's been the Blues for sure. 7 of the last 8 goals. Curno's quick kick out. Judd, well done to Watson. He's got a good leg, Watson. And that kick gives Henderson half a chance. Bounce not great initially. Yaron wraps Hanson up. Bit lucky Hanson. Henderson gets it out to Armfield. Held on to free kick.
Advantage.
And And the advantage given, well, not sure if there was much there. Carazzo, Rowe, pushed out of it. And here is Gibson with the first touch. No, exact touch it was. It's a behind.
I mean, we've got to give credit to Rowe too. He's not getting a whole lot of the ball, but just making the contest in the end. Often they've got that extra big defender back there, the Kangaroos, but both Henderson and Rowe are just making sure they can't mark it, so then all of a sudden it's just ground level.
Well, they're making that spare North Melbourne defender second-guess themselves. Really, they should be pushing up and intercepting the ball, but at the moment, Grimer and Hansen in particular just in no man's land when the ball comes in forward from Carlton.
Gibbs 55 metres out. What do we say? Three-dimensional kicks. Lucas knows that. Gets in behind the man that was on the lead, and the ball hit him on the chest. He's been damaging, Lucas. He's an emerging player under Michael Malthouse.
It's a clever lead from Lucas. Followed up the key forward into the vacuum space behind.
Yeah, just getting that slipstream, Tom.
Yep, absolutely.
He's got nice skills. He'll go close. He's working back, hits the post. Well, couldn't go on any closer.
He certainly does something right. He kicks with Mick Malthouse before the game. I noticed that from the three shots. And you've got to be on reasonably good terms with the coach, Dan, I reckon, to have a warm-up kick, don't you? Daisy Thomas did.
Yeah.
You feel like you're always going to get a game, don't you? but he has really cemented his spot in the last year, that's for sure. He belongs, there's no doubt about that. High draft pick. Took a little while, but still young. Walker running hard. Murphy wanting it. Good smother from Black. So
they've just become so reactionary, the Kangaroos, all of a sudden. Just as the Carlton kick goals got control on the scoreboard, they're just second to the footy so often. It's now the Carlton players got the energy and grabbing the initiative, pushing at the footy.
These nights are so revealing, aren't they? I mean, when you're down, they show all the bad spots, and we're seeing them now. We're seeing North exposed. So Frida McKenzie. There's Michael's reaction.
I don't think Mick agrees.
Well, I think he's right to go off there. They went about 15 metres.
That little dance together, didn't they?
Yeah, McKenzie was certainly holding it.
So North need all the breaks they can get. Down the line, Goldstein the target. Cruiser building it away. It's just hard to see how North can reimpose themselves. So here's the free kick against Armfield. So why? I guess
Just in the end, it was in the back, yeah.
Well, there.
Boundary throw in. Wells, 10th possession. Harvey goes down the line, and the mark is taken by Tarrant, who wheels around. Long ball, Petrie the target, but one out. Hard pressed here. Jamison had the run on him and hooks it out of bounds. So really, this is a microcosm of all the problems North Melbourne have had this season. In close games, games they've lost with big leads, they've gone very quietly into the night. So far, at least. As Tom said, perfect situation to maybe make a statement. The high ball out of defence, punching away McMillan, lurking as Garlett. McMillan got a second chance. Gibson, Goldstein did well. He was under pressure. Wells takes on the tackler, stripped by Cruiser. Cruiser wins a free kick. Well, that just about says it all. A big man for Carlton taking down a pacey one from North Melbourne, in stark contrast to what has been the mantra in this game.
He pulled rank on him, didn't he? A number one against a number two, but kick from Rowe to Judd. Cruiser. He's having a good night, Cruiser. He was under the spotlight all week. Michael Malthouse has been strong in saying that as long as he's there, Cruiser will be there as the number one ruckman. So Jamison. That's wide and not handsome, and gee whiz, it's a strange old kick.
He was actually calling the players to come over and leave, but when the ball's out of bounds, you're not kicking to space, are you?
No, you feel silly if you lay there.
So North need a couple of quick goals. They need something to happen. Gibson, can he give them some energy off the bench?
Just stagnant.
Yep. So they're just wanting to win one-on-ones. They did their Cunnington against Armfield. Now, any quick movement here? Cunnington, that's a good kick. Well, should have been taken, but Harvey's done okay. Back, though, to Thompson. That one's smothered, so well done, though. Brilliantly done by Hyde. This will lift them, but he misses. It was good stuff until the kick. They need something out of the ordinary to happen to give them some energy here.
Well, Carlton are predictable with the way they use the ball. They do still bring it round the boundary. So for North Melbourne to take the ball off them from a mark intercept or a turnover, they've just got to go bang inside quickly like they did on that occasion. That's the way they've got to get back into this one.
Tui driving kick, but 2-on-1. The numbers there for North. Thompson takes the mark after Grimer. Grounded Henderson. Centering ball and a beauty. Bastanak came with courage. He knew a man was coming on the angle. That was Scotland. Eyes only for the football.
Well, they missed a few early. They just cannot afford now to miss any of these chances if they're to pick up this lead.
Well, Ryan Bastanak may not think he can do the distance, judging by his initial moves there. He runs to 50. Kick is on the way. And he's missed. Not by much, but the distance wasn't a problem. The indecision was. 92 plays 59. Carlton strong in this term with 5 goals. And North Melbourne just the 1.
Sort of conceded Bastanak, didn't he there? Just the body language before the kick.
Yep.
So Walker, what a crucial 4, 5, 6 minutes here. Cruiser standing tall, I know he was against the shorter man, but it was a strong mark.
Move it on.
Cruiser's kick's a good one. Armfield loves to run and carry. Armfield, feisty competitor. Was McLean hung on to. Good tackle by Henderson on Thompson. And a ball up. So Carlton hold it in. Stop any North Melbourne rebound.
Well, they just can't get any run across the ground at all, North Melbourne. It's been a really accountable midfield, the Carlton midfield tonight. You can see every one of them is thinking about defence first, and it's North cannot get any run at all.
Goldstein down to Cunnington, kicks it up towards the wing. Black, well played, but then arriving quickly was Simpson. Dug out of there by Harvey. Adams goes down towards half forward Petrie. The North Melbourne have done a masterclass, and teams coming from this far behind, they've seen it firsthand. Can they do it? Curnow does well. Thomas goes to ground. It's 2-on-1 though for North. Tarrant's got the football, uses the extra man. Gibson, Thomas, he needs to kick a goal, and he does. He's got 4, and that is big.
Gee, Gibson was good there. I mean, Mickey coming down, but Gibson kept his cool. Just feel the last 3-4 minutes they've had some chances.
They've stabilised. They've started to get into the stoppages again. So the game has been stabilised by Kangaroos the last 5 minutes. And well, a few times they've been in this position and the side's been under late. Last week the Lions kicked a couple of goals late in the 3rd quarter to get down to a couple of goals at 3-quarter time. So can they reverse it this week?
So it gives them a chance, doesn't it? You feel like they needed that. As Dennis said, that was big. I mean, Thomas has kicked 4. I mean, those small forwards we talked about and asked you to comment on earlier tonight. What a contribution. 10 goals between the 3 of them, plus Yaram tonight. So it's been terrific. Cunnington, Swallow. They need clean footy here. Mullet on the wrong side, but not a bad kick. Petrie protected it well. He's been important, Petrie, in the last minute. Michael Malthouse coming down early as he did at quarter time. The next 4 minutes can give North Melbourne some hope here. They need at least 1 more, you would think, wouldn't you?
Yep.
And Carlton can't score from their point of view. So can they conjure something here, North?
Stay there.
Thompson.
It's 1-on-1 all over the field, so you might be able to go backwards, but eventually you're going to have to go to a contest.
And that's what he's about to do, Lee. He runs his full measure and then kicks to about 40 metres. Watson, big fly. Down low was Zeeble, tries to crash through Walker, and they get a stoppage, North, and they could be dangerous here.
Well, how that one-on-one started, Hansen was a free player back for North Melbourne, and instead of pushing up and joining in the initial forward surge, he just sucked back, and therefore just it became too predictable for Carlton. So they've got the loose player. They've just got to be really laissez-faire, if you like, and press right up and get used through the middle of the ground, and perhaps you're better off
They've
freeing
got
up
to get the ball in there quickly now, too. I mean, when you've got the fair margin, you just got to really try and attack quickly before the opposition defence gets set.
Yep. Cunnington kicked it out of bounds on the full, so Simpson sends it outside the 50. Hansen takes a very good mark.
Like, even then I'd be going back and thinking about driving in long. There's pairs in there.
The kick from about 75 just sets it up towards the kick-off line. Petrie was up in front. Zeeble lurking behind. Emerges with the football, tries to flick it out. Watson got boot to ball. It runs just towards the 50, then outside, and pushed across the line by Henderson. Deliberate, says the umpire. No argument from Henderson.
On the full it was, Den.
Oh, was it? There was a boot in there. Okay.
And even now, just wheel and go and just surge it to the top of the square. Quicker than that.
A lot of bodies there.
Grimer, the long ball. Judd gets back. Zeeble! Not the spot for it. Chris Judd just knocking it down to a most dangerous area, and Ziebell lurking 2 steps off the goal line.
What you can be comfortable about, or reasonably confident about from a North Melbourne perspective, is you're probably not going to get outmarked with a long ball there with the Carlton defender. So just surge it in there. It's predictable as hell, but at least you know that the ball's going to be spilt and you've got some pretty dangerous small forwards at the feet.
Been a good response there. That one just coming off the boot.
Out on the full.
And don't forget, Carlton have given up a lot of leads this year. We've talked about North giving up leads. Carlton have given up quite a few. They've led at half-time at least 3 times and lost. So Michael Malthouse down there. North back in this match. It's 21 points again. And Tom, that was the margin you talked about 10 minutes ago when North needed to stand up.
Thanks, Mark.
So here's Mickey. He's laying down the law.
Time back on. Clear out, please, Heath.
So the old back pocket, talking about defensive structures.
Wouldn't you love to be able to lip read?
Well, you just have to cop it in that situation, don't you? You don't bite back.
So McGuinness wide. Jamison sets himself.
Off hands, play on, off hands, play on.
Heard the arm.
Play on.
Jamison wanted to claim it.
It's off the man in front.
Well, the one thing North can't do now is concede the goal. They've sort of edged their way back.
71 plays, 92. What if they can get another one here? Well done though by Curnow. Gave it to Murphy. Kicks inside the forward 50. Chance for Rowe. Didn't realise it was coming that quickly. Well done, Hanson, Gibson, Thompson. Back to Hanson. Oh, Wells had to wait Atley. It was a poor hand pass from Wells. Had to do better. Rowe, Judd hooks it around the corner. Who wants it most? Maybe McLean. Play on's the call. Loose ball at the back. Reimer had it, lost it. Curnow tries to find a way through. In goes Harvey. Picked up by Cunnington. Just jams it on the boot. Kicks it outside the defensive 50. Taken by Black. Here come the Kangaroos and their skipper. Swallow through midfield to half forward. Ziebell's got it. Thomas is on the move. Can he kick that far? I'm not sure he can. Thomas waits. Oh, and he couldn't. He needs to move it quicker there, Ziebell. Wasted opportunity.
You're spot on, Dennis. Ziebell just did not have any awareness.
He was trying to actually call and draw the player out and go square, but just had to wheel and go. There's no time for actually setting up a cute forward entry. Just drive it in deep.
I tell you, Daniel Wells is lucky because he made a massive mistake down back a moment ago and they dodged a bullet. I mean, his handball was disappointing under the pressure. So North can't afford a blue here. Hanson was the 3rd man up. Harvey waiting, and now will try and create, and does to Thomas.
Play on.
Rather to Tarrant, play on call. Tarrant slow, gets a kick away though, gets it inside the 50. McGuinness dropped it down. Ziebell so strong, little kick forward, bouncing ball. They've got the numbers for a moment. North, Tui very good for the first time. Gone, no play on call, and well done by Gibbs, belting the ball away.
Got to stay goal side.
Betts. Hine has a little win. The bounce of the ball important. McGuinness, and then he just belts it, trying to get some breathing space. Grimer, well done, Henderson.
Hasn't he been terrific, Henderson? Right on the wing. 30 seconds remaining in the term. Intelligent kick to space. Garlett tries to turn his man. Nothing doing. Thompson from half back sends it back towards the wing. That's dangerous. McKenzie came through the interchange gates. Henderson didn't know he was there. They avoided a collision. They will have a ball up. Clock stops at 15.
Oh, that was a huge contested mark by Henderson. He was 2-on-1 then. 7 last week. He's been good again this week.
Cruiser, not quite his best. Armfield a Cruiser. Slips a hand pass away to Scotland. Wheels around. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hangs a long time in the air. Hanson almost. Rowe goes to ground. The clock will beat them. Stirring finish by North Melbourne after some exhilarating football from his side. So at 3/4 time, it's Carlton 14-8-92. North Melbourne 10-11-71 on Friday Night Football. Start of the final term on Friday Night Football. Cruiser goes up, wins it down. Carazzo lost it. Ziebell falling to the ground. Clever hand pass. Betts had a play on the football. Well done. The long hand pass came out towards Simpson. It came from Lucas. Simpson unable to corral the footy, though. Tracks it to the line of the square, and the umpire has called for it. Swallow at the base of that pack.
Well, that's a good start when you're talking about influential. Swallow burrowing straight in.
Carranza, as he pushed in the back, he was trying to make a case for that. Tunnelling the ball there was Lucas. Gibbs, haven't called his name too much tonight. Cruiser over the football high and taken down. Yaron did everything possible to avoid getting into his back, and that was well played.
How many goals do you reckon Carlton need to be safe, Tom? I mean, they were 3.5 in front.
Yeah, just probably 3. Once they start to push over 100 points, it's going to make it difficult for North Melbourne.
Armfield forward. Here is Henderson and Hanson and Rowe. We've talked about Rowe's competitiveness and a boundary throw in. So Rowe, 3 goals, career high last week and career high stats. He signed a contract during the week. He's a great story, Rowe. Testicular cancer, and he's recovered out there playing. Swallow, quick kick. Black. No goals from Tarrant or Black, as Richo talked about. Gibson's kicked to centre wing, and Jamison won that battle. So Petrie hasn't really got off the leash tonight, has he? I mean, he was very promising early. Watson, I love his leg. He's a good kick. Simpson. And then Simpson, lovely looking kick. Punched away by Hanson. Simpson's a left footer, they'll know that. Goes back. Well done by Lucas. That was clever, had real awareness. Simpson short.
Tui takes off. His best kick inside the forward 50. Rowe was there again, slapped it down in front, chance for Murphy. Wonderful acceleration, goes with the outside of the boot. Zeeble gets back, can he control it? No. It was an awkward one, it was spinning and spinning rapidly.
We need the hard runners for the Kangaroos. I mean, they've had the players stop them for a little bit. There was no one that just was able to enable them to kick the ball in quickly and get the ball going.
Mullet to himself and then drives it down the middle. Goldstein's in front. Cruiser, that was a clever mark. Took care of Goldstein and then marked the football. Here's Tui, saw McLean. Tui, meantime, could very well make it extremely difficult for North Melbourne. That's a terrific running goal.
Dennis, it was poor old Goldstein that was chasing Tui there.
Well, yeah, but poor old Goldstein got me on mark one-on-one. I mean, when he decided to go long down the middle, you just got to make sure you don't get marked again. Yeah. If the ball comes to the ground, we might be able to run onto it, but Cruiser was just too strong in the air, too strong in the body. Yeah, Goldstein has done a bit of chasing, but that it's one thing to go down the middle, but you need someone on the end of it.
Tui's kicked 7 goals this year, 6 of them outside 40.
Yeah, keep going. He will keep going. And again, the big ruckman's the one who was doing the chasing. I saw Daniel Wells standing on the back of the centre square watching.
Gee, we saw a big reaction from the bench too. I mean, Juddy punching the fist, Scotland giving it a clap. So they've got one of those 3, Tom. Betts, North on the edge, on the precipice of falling off the season completely. The kick from Walker, and Yaron, well, it's worked tonight. Yaron, Garlett and Betts, it really has worked.
Yep. So I think it's one of those issues with Kangaroos going forward, finding those small defenders. They're not too bad in the air defensively, but I mean, they are nippy, that Carlton trio, but the Kangaroos don't seem to have anyone who can hold them.
Well, Garlett's kicked his 4. Betts has got a couple. Yaron going for 2 here, not coming back. And a behind. So, ironically, Carlton, who were 7 goals without a miss, are now, what, 15-10. So they've been a little inaccurate themselves.
Thompson to bring it in. 29 points the margin. Biggest margin in the game, 33. Thompson going directly down the middle. Petrie worked under the football. Will advantage be paid? It is. Wells has got it. He's breaking. It's all North Melbourne around him. He can go all the way to the square. Draws Tui. Pops it over. And the easiest of goals, his 5th from Thomas. Well, it worked for them. The long kick in. They got the break. And that slingshot, it's referred to as, saw them all release, and there was 4 against 1. Tui was the odd man out and eventually had to pressure the ball carrier. The hand pass was good enough, and Thompson into the open goal, or rather Thomas into the open goal.
We've seen these coast-to-coast goals often tonight.
A couple of times. Well, Petrie made a really good contest in the air. Would have drawn the free kick, but played advantage. And then, well, as long as they just stay composed under pressure, the Kangaroos runners, because they had the numbers.
Gee, Wells played that well. So 7th time that Thomas has kicked 5 goals in a match. So he's got 5. He's got this remarkable record against Carlton. He's kicked 24 goals in this his 6th match. So he goes at 4 goals a game against the Blues. And they're alive still, North Melbourne, just, but they are alive.
Thanks.
So both the subs are on.
Backing out here, guys.
Carlton sitting on a 4-goal lead. North need all the clearances they can get. Scotland has it ripped away from him. Wells, can he become influential in the last quarter? Adams off a step, gets it to full forward. Great mark, goal. They're backing him now. Petrie gets on the board in the last quarter. He's got 2. And it's the clearances that are going to be vital. Well, those stoppages, North are good at them, but Carlton got hold of them in the middle of the match, didn't they? But
Yeah,
now
in the third quarter they dominated, but that's where they've had to will themselves forward, and just a lot of players touched the footy till eventually Adams was the one who drove it quick forward. Petrie's good enough one-on-one in the contest, but it was just a bit of forward footy. Keep getting the ball forward, make sure the opposition cannot turn it around.
It doesn't have to be pretty for North Melbourne. Just keep surging it forward because they do have key targets there, but it just hasn't been fluent enough.
Cruiser missed the football. Bastanak picks it up, hand passes across towards support. McKenzie did well to Cunnington. Another kick from Adams inside the forward 50, stretching over the top. Watson arriving quickly, the man with 5 alongside his name, Thomas. In all sorts of trouble down there, though, just outside the 50. Lucky to get a ball up.
North Melbourne's forward line's going to be more open because Carlton do not want to loose back. They had a 7-man forward line v North's 5-man forward line.
Thomas playing for the free. Cunnington's kick ricochets off a teammate. Gibson went to ground. Armfield tries to feed it back to Walker, and there's nothing doing.
Well, the opportunity that North Melbourne have is that Carlton have become a really accountable team. So if it is one-on-one and 7-man forward lines, as Richo's talking about, they have the opportunity to dictate setups.
Shoulder, Matthew Cruiser.
Against Goldstein at the boundary throw-in. So Cruiser gets a free kick at half-back. North Melbourne trying to do what they've had done to them a few times this year, 4 times in fact. Come from behind the big deficit and win. And just for the moment, there's a flicker of hope. Simpson, though, trying to do something else as far as Carlton are concerned and try and put some icing on the cake.
Hanson got across. Hasn't quite got control. Has to release it. Well, ball up. Harvey just got a late sort of tackle on Simpson, which maybe put the kick off. Simpson had beaten a couple of players. Carlton surging. Judd, well, this would be something. Well, it's not something. He's just had a forgettable night, the champ. He really has. Grimer over the top. It's a boundary throw-in. I haven't seen Juddy so subdued ever. I really haven't.
His lowest total as a Blue is 10 against St Kilda, around 23 last season.
But none of those 12 have been memorable, have they? I mean, it's...
No, you're right.
Here's Murphy on the up. Scotland threw it in the end. And then Zeeble off a step. Bouncing ball. Missed by Lucas. Free kick surely. North Melbourne suddenly looked to be going in harder, I reckon.
Well, this could be a fairy tale if they come back and win it.
He's really started to exert himself, Zeeble. Really impressed with his first part of this 4th quarter. They needed someone. He's from the very opening bounce of this quarter. He's the body that's been going in the hardest.
Zeeble from half-back then drives it to the outer side. Scotland came back with courage. Falls to Tarrant. Lays it off to Adams. Adams lobs the kick to Gibson, running hard. The man who started as the sub. Gibbs stands the mark about 48 metres out. Gibson told to play on. Kicks from 55. A centering kick. Petrie. He was held. May have got a free kick anyway, but he's taken the mark. 25 metres out, directly in front. Lining up at his 3rd. Last time they played, he got 7. How about this? If he puts it through, the margin will swing back to just 11 points. You've got to say it's been Carlton in recent times that have squandered opportunities, but not Petrie. North Melbourne resilient.
Well, we talked a lot about goals. Petrie's got his 3, Thomas has got his 5.
Yeah.
They've got 8 from them. I mean, suddenly Petrie's the man, I think, don't you?
Well, he does look the man. I mean, that was one of the rare occasions where he's been able to get a metre start on Jamieson, and when he does that, he's going to mark the ball. Jamieson, he's had to really beat Jamieson in the contest because Jamieson is just not giving him any space. But he's the one who looks likely to kick another 2 or 3 goals.
It's a good kick, this.
It's a great angle of where to put the ball so that your forward can move into it. Just almost drew him into the footy.
So, 2-goal game. What a terrific comeback from North. Goldstein wins that tap against Cruiser. The clearance is so vital. North so good in that area that Cruiser wheeled himself forward with a second effort. Henderson almost. Scotland got down low. He was probably a little stiff. Ball up. You'd almost isolate Petrie one out in that sort of forward 20 at the moment because you feel like he's going to win the one-on-ones with Jamieson. Trying to come through Keisha. And then Garlett. That was so clever. Judd couldn't quite take it. And then Garlett did well. Lucas. North battling here. Judd can't quite get a handle. Comes back from Harvey. Thompson. Judd puts a tackle on. It's out of play. North were really in trouble and they got away with it. They dodged it.
Oh, that was tough. 11 points the margin then. Another thriller on Friday Night Football. Goldstein, Cruiser, Yaron cruising through. Puts it through. So innocuous, a boundary throw-in, but that man, just wonderful positioning at full tilt. Just took the ball through the traffic and snapped the goal. So again, North Melbourne treated with a very quick reply. They were doing that a lot early in the game, but Carlton have tended to do that of late.
Is that a good night, Yaron?
Space open up here. He just was able to get high and in under the footy too close to the contest.
Here we go.
Just beautiful space. It just opened up, didn't it?
Yep. He's done well, Yaron. Really good second half. Cruiser laying it down. Keisha, you know he'll go in hard. Adams, well done. Well's got a bad bounce. Can Bastanak take control? He's gang tackled. Had it ripped away. They still may get this, North. Harvey. Oh, Gibson's handball pretty hot. Harvey back for it though. So Boomer. Good kick. Adams misses the mark. Should have taken it. Curnow. Kicks to space. Judd's had the quiet night, but he takes an important mark. And then caresses the ball beautifully. Oh, no free kick. Ooh. Murphy looks up and says, why not, Umpy? Can North... Well, there's a runner there.
There's a runner in the way.
It's a free kick against the North Melbourne runner.
Oh, wow.
Free kick against the runner. No, he's in the way. Play on.
Oh, boy.
Simpson goes across the ground to telling effect. Gibbs looks inside the forward 50. Too tall for the leading Garlett. Adams, despite that mismark moments ago, has been pretty strong in this term.
He's played well.
Yep. Deep in defence. Goes back to Thompson.
Oh, there.
There's a short one on, and he uses this man, McKenzie. McKenzie can come to Atley, who demands the footy. Atley can take it and go if he wants to, decides against it. So the next kick is pretty important. Adams willing himself across the ground, wants the footy. Oh, just got there. Adams pretty tired.
Got closing speed, Garlett. Whether he's running for the footy or running to chase tackle, he gets there quick.
Adams, not his strongest kick. In front, off hands. It was Bastanak arriving quickly. Gibson taken down strongly by Keisha. So the two subs lock up there, and the umpire will ball it up close to the boundary line.
Mentioned on a couple of occasions, knowing how accountable Carlton are, they can bring them across here, North Melbourne one-on-one, and then actually burst out and get someone free in the middle of the ground. That's the way North are going to get their avenue towards goal.
Keisha held up. Both the subs have done all right, I reckon. Keisha's been in and under. Gibson's had an impact. just North don't have any sort of room to make a mistake here now. It's all got to go their way for them to win tonight. Zeeball's kick to space, so the bounce so important. Bett's got a bad one. He was unlucky. Thompson trying to take him on. Hanson, such an important kick. Can he get it to a man when it goes over the top? Jamison and Petrie. Petrie manhandling. Jamison goes to ground. Petrie wraps him up, ball up. That's a good result for North Melbourne. And quickly it goes up. Can they get a goal from the stoppage? Wells, brilliant. Oh, I take it all back, Daniel. That was magnificent. What a goal.
Wells one end, Yarran the other.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just fantastic. I mean, very rarely, 20 metres out from goal, do you get the ball on the fly going full pace, but he worked his way through. Beautiful. I think it was Black who just dropped it into his line, and when Daniel Wells is on the move, it's very hard then.
Was he one of your six,
the tackle. Yeah, he's one of the six because he's so talented. But he and Brett Harvey, even though Brett Harvey's is a veteran, mid-30s, they're the ones who can carry the ball into space, the best of the whole Kangaroos team.
That's just sheer brilliance. Watson was in the right spot. He set himself up defensively, but when you're coming through at that sort of speed and you've got a sidestep like Daniel Wells, good luck.
He's the sort of guy who can win this off his own boot. The Rucks go at it. Gibbs in trouble. Didn't move it very far. Carazzo trying to win a free kick. Bastanak over the top. Judd's got him. And Carazzo a little bit lucky there, accentuating a push in the back or trying to sell that to the umpire. Had the ball for a while. Goldstein brilliantly. Swallow. Vacant goal square. They turn around wide of the mark. They clatter into the post down there. Jamison and Petrie. Petrie tracking it back. Realised it was offline. Desperate attempt to mark it, but couldn't get a hand of the footy. Now Simpson. Can they catch them on the rebound? Carlton comes along the line. Henderson, who's played a wonderful game, can't control this one. Boundary throw in right at the interchange gates. Carlton by 10.
I feel like Carlton need at least another goal, don't you? I mean, North are going to keep coming here. We're already 17 minutes in. This is going to be a really long quarter. Cruiser over the top. Bastanak, Gibbs rides him into the ground. Curnow, good hands. Judd, good kick. And Scotland, well, free kick. And now, well, the two most experienced players, Judd and Scotland, combining there. Scotland pushing forward. And then kicking to fall forward to Henderson. Garlett to Curnow. Curnow off a step to fall forward. Rowe was strong. Wells getting back. Betts will be dangerous. The cavalry arrive. Betts underneath it. Rowe getting through. Good smother. Mullet can't get a handle on it. Going down with a great tackle. Yarran was involved. Ball up.
Well, it's the real key now to play with.
That was held up.
To play with desperation, but still good decision making under that desperation in all parts of the field.
Wow, desperate stuff in there. Goldstein taps it down. Curnow's over the football. He's claimed immediately, and the umpire with a quick whistle. It's a tinderbox at the moment. 10 points the difference.
Numbers everywhere around here, and if North do get the ball, they've got to be mindful not going down the throat of Watson.
Goldstein only as far as Judd, and Judd hits the post. Well, he's lifting in the last few minutes. He has, but he's lifting from a low base.
Petrie should be the target here if they're going to go down the middle. He's been pretty good in these plays.
Wells gets a nice spiral too, close to midfield. Petrie in two minds whether to compete. Taken now by Thomas, feeds it forward. He sets up a foot race. Black, unkind bounce, goes back through the traffic. Harvey hitting the ball hard. Thomas needs to knock it on. Taken by Gibson. Goes back to Harvey, the veteran. Now he gives it to Tarrant. Tarrant lays it off. Thompson, the defender, smothered. Now Keisha. They could open them up going the other way. Keisha goes out wide, taken by Rowe. It's one-on-one up ahead. Trying to get free as Yarran. He appeared to be held. Peeling off his man Hine. He had a couple to beat, did brilliantly. Came up, Armfield had the run on the ball. Hine heads for the boundary. Well, not sure what he could do there with the outside of the boot.
So that's penalising him for not necessarily being as skilled as some other players. He could have used his left foot, but he went for the right. And
he had two players.
If he's kicking with his right foot, he actually can't keep the ball in play.
Carazzo close to the line. Thompson over the top. Gibson, who's been very lively.
He certainly has picked the mark. and then plays on quickly to Harvey, and Boomer running towards goal. He's sizing it up, goes over the top, Tarrant over the top. Thomas has got 6, and North are so close now. What a grandstand finish. Well, Petrie's mark set it all up, and then Harvey was away, and Thomas, for not the first time in this quarter, is on the end of one. And North are coming, and Carlton need more. They need at least another goal.
Amazing how much more energy in the North Melbourne team when they're attacking rather than trying to defend a lead. That's what they're doing tonight. There's nothing to defend. It's all about trying to find a way to overtake.
Well, there's the ladder, by the way. I mean, Carlton are in the 8 right now, but oh boy.
That's tenuous. Back in the middle, 5 points the margin. Carrazzo went to ground. Gibbs couldn't forge a path. He's tackled by Swallow, wrestled down. Goldstein's over the football. The umpire whistles it up. Right in the inner circle. Wasting no time. Rowe hooks it down, wide of Simpson. Swallow missed the target, being held. Was it a throw? Swallow threw it. The umpire, about 50 metres away, made that call, but it was the right one. Simpson short, was at 15, almost daring the umpire then to make that call. Gibbs was on the ground when he marked it. Beautiful kick, wonderful vision. Curnow looks up inside the forward 50. Thompson played it well, punched it away from Henderson. Boundary throw in, and still all the time in the world. We've got over 7 minutes.
Which team wants it most, eh? Right now. Which team can excel in the last 10 sort of minutes of this match? We've seen North Melbourne come back. There'll be time on, 7+ time on. We know what's at the end of this match. For North, there won't be any hope of making the finals. For Carlton, they'll be in the 8. Petrie's been a colossus in the last quarter. They're on again. Tarrant running, but he decides to kick it. That was strange. The handball was on, and getting back was Watson. Not sure why he didn't go with the handball, and a boundary throw-in.
Well, it's his left side full stop, so that's a difficult left-handed hand pass.
Just a poor kick too.
So he's gone for the left-footed kick.
I think the kick was okay because he was going to put Black into space, but he unfortunately just didn't time the kick at all.
Boundary throw in. Petrie in front, knocked away by Cruiser. Head down, charging in. Gibson lays it off. Well done by Adams. Goes back to Cunnington. Cunnington's kick is out of bounds on the full. 102 North Melbourne, 107 Carlton. Carlton led by 21 at three-quarter time. Murphy minus the helmet, coming up to his 17th possession. Biggest lead, 35. There's Yaron. He's played an important role. Curnow, very much a role player. Goes back to Yaron, put him under real pressure. Scotland coughed it up with almost. Well done again. Curnow beats a couple. Tired kick, wanders up towards the wing. Henderson. What a terrific mark it was. Spots Garlett on the move, puts it out in front. Garlett backed everything at taking the mark, and he did. Had he spilt it, they were exposed. The man trailing could have run onto an easy football. As it was, Atley got no play. Garlett in desperation with 4 alongside his name. Oh, that found the grass. That found the grass.
15 goals.
Need a bit of luck. Carlton with a bit right there. Garlett, so industrious, so quick. Kick is on the way.
Oh, came back.
Hit the post.
Judd and Garlett, eh?
Well, 6 points the difference, Bruce. You know what this means, don't you? The possibility. Yeah.
We're coming back next week.
We are anyway.
Not sure a draw does them much good, does it?
No.
Both teams just need a win. Thompson. Belted away by Walker. McMillan took a chance. Keisha in hard. Zeeble boundary throw-in. So pressure on everybody here. Coaches, players, umpires. And there is a lot riding on the end of this night. The irony Well, it would be quite delicious if North could win from where they've been tonight, considering their season. Judd is lifting, getting a lot more of the ball. Henderson's been fantastic, trying to, and does turn his man, and does brilliantly. Oh, cometh the moment, cometh Lockie. That was big. And puts Armfield in a position.
He's only had 10 disposals, Henderson, but it's an unbelievably influential game. Got his 3 goals, and he's just done. He's just been so good with so limited numbers.
Well, this makes life very difficult for North Melbourne. He's pretty accurate, Armfield, from set shots. He's 5 goals too. He's hit it hard. I reckon he's missed it. He hit it too hard a bit in there, and Mickey can't. Oh, he's itchy. Look at him. He's itchy.
That's got a hot seat.
Oh.
He chose to go back too. It's amazing, isn't it? Why? There goes the kick towards midfield. Goldstein trying to help it on its way. Simpson behind, hassled out of it by Wells. Simpson, great courage, could have been taken high. Adams emerges with the football, slips it across to Bastanak. Under pressure was Black. Simpson again, courageous, smothered off the boot by Wells. Murphy, slick hands, went looking for Tui. Stolen away by Black. Black 65 metres out. Petrie on the move, couldn't hang on. Walker strides across half-back. Time on his side. Nobody to kick to, though, just kicks for distance. Rowe out there with Grimer, the 2 17s. Grimer and Rowe. Grimer did well. Grimer won the battle, hurriedly on the boot. Walker was following up, tracks it back towards the 50, coming across on the angle, Tarrant. Watson picked him off. Walker towards midfield. Taken now in the middle of the ground by Simpson. Still time to beckon a teammate across. That's Keisha, or was it McGuinness? It was McGuinness who had it knocked away by Wells.
He's been terrific, Wells. He's had a massive last quarter. Good kick coming in. Lovely pick up on the burst by Black. And a lovely kick. It was Tarrant actually on the burst.
He's well done, Daniel Wells.
No, it was Black on the burst.
Pretty good, Wells. I mean, we asked that. You said some of those players have to list. And Wells and Zeeble, Harvey's got involved. Swallow's always actually running hard. So those guys that needed to do something for the Kangaroos have.
Well, he's had a massive last quarter, Petrie. It's coming back. He's kicked 3 goals in the last quarter, and North are within a point.
Still plenty of time.
So Thomas and Petrie, 5 goals between them in the last quarter. I mean, in all up, Thomas has kicked 6 and Petrie 4. They've got remarkable records against Carlton. Plenty of time, and Wells' last quarter has been sensational. Gibson's been important, hasn't he? He really has.
Well, it was the kick in from Wells, but moments before that, it was the contest to force the turnover and didn't rush the ball out of bounds. He kept it in play and had the composure to drop the ball in short as well. He's had a massive last quarter. Season comes down to 2.5 minutes.
Count the scoring shots. North Melbourne 6-1, Carlton 2-5, 7 apiece. One down by Goldstein. Cunnington out of the middle. Inside the forward 50, Tui thumps it away. Judd is there. Flicks a hand pass away to Walker. Walker goes for distance. In front, Henderson. He's going to get a free kick against Grimer. A point the difference. Henderson. No doubting that. Henderson, 70 metres out.
Waiting for Cruiser to push in deep.
Long ball, Cruiser. Mullet fighting out of his division. No hope, Mullet.
The Cruiser brought Goldstein all the way through, and Goldstein a combination of fatigue and you'd hope not a lack of desire, but good work right there from Cruiser. Just trailing in. You don't want to judge him too harshly because he does carry a huge burden from a workload point of view, but sometimes you just got to go.
So Cruiser, if he misses here, it means North will get the footy back. If he kicks it behind, or out of bounds on the full. Okay. Reset.
Okay, so you know that Carlton are going to follow you, so you can bring them to the boundary side here and then hope that the middle of the ground opens up.
And they're running. Thompson to Atley. Atley runs up towards midfield, fell over. Oh, was he taken high? Yes, he was. He'll get the free kick. Just over a minute to go. Atley's got a free kick short of the wing. What a thriller. 108. Atley kept his head. McMillan drives it inside the forward 50. The tall timber is down there, and so is the little guy. Harvey slipped over though. Out of defence, Curnow gave it to Watson. Watson under pressure, upended. Kicks for the boundary line and finds it. Boundary throw in. 42 seconds to go. Rucks assemble, sort of. They get there belatedly. Goldstein hooks it down, taken behind by Lucas, who kicks the half forward.
Henderson to make the contest. Atley, can he run and carry? He goes back to Thompson. One roll of the dice, that's all they've got. Cruiser's in the box seat, got it, taken it, and that might be it. It was a poor kick from Thompson. It wasn't well thought out by Atley and Thompson.
It was a desperate kick, but not a well thought out kick.
No.
Got to be able to think under pressure. That's the real trick of it all.
They've never played a draw, these two teams, and they won't be playing one here. Carlton are going to win. Carlton are going to be the 8 tonight, and North's season's done and dusted. 5 losses by less than a goal in one season. What a night. Let's go down to you, Richo. I mean, one point, Richo, gets Carlton into the 8 tonight.
Yeah, Mark, that puts you in the 8. That's a huge win for the club. It feels like the season's really starting to build now.
Yeah, we've had a big couple of weeks. Probably had a few home truths after that Collingwood game, so the way the boys have responded has been fantastic.
There's real accountability all over the ground, but especially in your midfield, I thought.
Yeah, that's an area that we've really need to work on. So yeah, it's been a work in progress, but yeah, I think we're starting to see some good improvement.
Now you wanted to get your big mate over here, Big Frankie, as you call him, Big Cruz. 2 huge marks in that last minute and a half.
Yeah, Big Humphrey, we call him as well. Doesn't say too much, so he just tries his heart out, and he probably saved it for us there in the end. It was great.
Good birthday present.
Yeah, not too bad, Richard.
We'll celebrate tonight. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Good on you.
He's a bit subdued, Murphy, in a way, because in a way they staggered over the line, to be honest, didn't they?
Yeah, it's always something. I mean, they got the 4 points and they'll sing the song, but when you've actually had the 4 or 5 goal margin and been run down and just won, you feel like it's a sense of relief, but you feel like we've failed a little bit as well in terms of the way we played the game out.
I feel in some ways North Melbourne actually went a step forward tonight, even though they lost.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is a different set of circumstances when you're attacking rather than trying to defend a lead.
They showed a lot of heart, didn't they? I mean, they turned a 5.5 goal deficit into a thriller, didn't they? Let's go back to you, Matthew. It was just an unbelievable night.
Yeah, it certainly was, Bryson. We're just saying there's a bit of a sense of relief amongst the boys here.
Yeah, it was. They came at us pretty hard late in that quarter, so it's glad we held on.
You played a real one-on-one game all over the ground and didn't get any numbers back, even though coming at you. Is that something you really want to stick to, that one-on-one philosophy?
Well, we wanted to do that, especially this week. They're such an uncontested side, so we thought if we could go one-on-one, we can try and negate that. I thought we did pretty well for most of the night. But yeah, like you said, glad we got there in the end.
You had a real job to do tonight. You played on Zeeble most of the night. Bit of a new role for you?
Yeah, just muscled up on him most of the night. It's a good match-up for me, so I'm not sure how we ended up stats-wise, but I thought it was a good battle.
You did a very good job. What about your small forwards? Got involved tonight and really took the game and got you that lead, really?
Yeah, when they're chasing and tackling and putting pressure on the forward line, it really sets us up and locking it in that forward half. So they were really good tonight, and we just got to keep on them going forward.
The Blues fans are singing the song again. They're pretty happy. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
there's a hardness about Gibbs at the moment, I reckon. I mean, he's changing role, but you feel like he's hardened up a bit, don't you?
Well, part of the accountable midfield, and even just looking in there, he's got the black boots on, the socks down. He went in with the focus to do a job on Jack Siebel, and it was when your role is to play a defensive role and you basically get a 0-0 draw, that's a win.
I think Richo might be with the bearded one, Richo, eh?
Yeah, I've got the beard down here, Kate. You're back in that defensive half a lot of the night, and I thought your young defenders, Watson and McInnes, really stood up for you.
Yeah, they were great, the two boys. They had a lot of one-on-ones and a couple of real key forwards down there in Tarrant and Black, so they stood up under the pressure.
Ed Curnow continues to do the stopping jobs, played a pretty big role.
Yeah, I don't envy him at all. He gets a tough opponent every week and he runs all day, so I'd hate to play on him, but yeah, he did another great job.
What about the other beard down back in Sack Tui, drifting forward, the Irishman kicked 2 long goals. He's a good kick.
Oh, mate, he's a beautiful kick for a bloke who's only been doing it for a few years. It's unbelievable, so yeah, it's credit to him.
Didn't pick up any bad habits as a kid, probably.
Exactly.
Good on, mate.
Thanks, Richo.
Equals his season high of 28 tonight, Simpson. He's a key in the back half.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah, another one who's been given a really clear task from Mick Malthouse. He's, along with Walker, provides the run and carry, just uses the ball exceptionally well, and we all know how brave he is. Never afraid of putting his head over the ball. And almost plays that loose man. So he's not a big man, but he plays the loose man as a link role as opposed to an intercept marker.
He had a good night, Cruiser, didn't he?
Had some key contests late in the game against Goldstein and took some contested marks. And in the end, I think they both outwore the Carlton. Well, I guess Cruiser outworked Goldstein.
Yeah, I think it's a clear win for Cruiser, isn't it? I mean, he had more hit-outs, Goldstein, but he's only had 8 possessions. He's only taken 1 mark for a bloke of 200 centimetres. Whereas Cruiser, he's had his 17 possessions, 5 marks. Just he's a workhorse as well as being the ruckman. So no, he was. I was really disappointed from Carlton's point of view, I guess, with his performance against Collingwood a couple of weeks ago, against Hudson and Young Wicks. But today he was really good tonight. I thought Cruiser really good.
No, particularly in that last couple of minutes. Well, the fans sang it with gusto a minute ago, and I reckon there'll be a fair bit put into this song tonight.
And they will know that they've been playing against the famous Soca Blues.